Live from the Idaho Central Arena in Boise, Idaho, it's Utah Grizzlies preseason hockey. As tonight's the first of two preseason games as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it looks like we got an interesting one here tonight as the Grizzlies will take on the Idaho Steelheads. It's the first two preseason games we mentioned. Sunday afternoon will be a 3 o'clock start over at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls. Well, the Grizzlies have head coach Ryan Kanasowicz returning for his fourth season behind the bench. He's got a record of 108, 96, and 12 in three seasons. Remember, Kanasowicz led the Grizzlies to the division championship in the 2021-22 season, where he had a record of 42, 27, 2, and 1. Christian Horn is the assistant coach for the second year. Horn was actually a player for the Grizzlies during the 2020-21 season. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the 30th year of Utah Grizzlies hockey. They spent 6 seasons in the old IHL, including winning the Turner Cup back in 1996, and that was the Grizzlies' first season in Utah. After 6 years in the IHL, the league folded, and the Grizzlies became a member of the American Hockey League. They were in the AHL for 4 seasons before the team was sold to Dan Gilbert over in Cleveland, and that's the franchise currently known as the AHL's Cleveland Monsters, and this is the 20th season of Grizzlies hockey in the ECHL. So we're celebrating 30 seasons all year long. We'll have trivia questions every game, and we'll obviously be talking about Grizzlies history, as the Grizzlies really have done a good job keeping the spirit of the sport of hockey over 3 decades. And after all, hockey is the fastest growing sport in the state of Utah by far, and it'll be interesting to see what happens this season. But for the Grizzlies, they're looking to make a return trip to the playoffs after missing the playoffs last season in the league's final day of the regular season, as the Grizzlies lost 2 games here at Idaho Central Arena in the final weekend of the regular season. The Grizzlies had to watch Allen lose to Tulsa, and with the Tulsa victory in the final game of the regular season, that sealed the Grizzlies' fate for the 2024 Kelly Cup playoffs, as they were on the outside looking in. There are 12 players from last season's club, but there are 12 players from previous Grizzlies experience on the Grizzlies roster, and that includes James Shearer, who was in the EIHL last season. Shearer returns, and he'll be in the lineup for the Grizzlies tonight wearing number 74. When we come back to the Grizzlies pregame report, we will talk about some of those returning players to the Grizzlies roster for the 2024-25 season. We are in business on a Saturday night, and you're listening to the Grizzlies Hockey Network, presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your...
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. Shop over 50 new Kia Sorrentos with savings up to $4,500 off at Jerry Seiner Kia, South Jordan.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face-off is in about 15 minutes from now here in Boise. Well, there are 12 players who have previously played with the Grizzlies who are on the Grizzlies' 26-man roster. They include 7 forwards. Dylan Fitz is not in the lineup this evening, but Fitz had 21 goals and 20 assists last year, and he scored some big goals for the Grizzlies, including the game winner in the first game of the 2024 calendar year against the Newfoundland Growlers. That turned out to be the Grizzlies' first road victory of the season. He also had Utah's lone hat trick of the year and that came against Kansas City in late February as the Grizzlies got a big road victory against the Western Conference champions. Cole Gallant is back in a Grizzlies uniform this season, and boy, Gallant's got about as much speed as anybody, and it's going to be exciting to see what he brings to the table this season. Gallant in 68 games last year had 12 goals and 35 assists, and he's a speedy one. Second full season as a pro and second year as a Grizzly for Cole Gallant. Mick Messner's back in a Grizzlies uniform. He was one of 3 players last season to appear in all 72 regular season games, and he had 15 goals and 23 assists for Utah last season. It's his second full season as a pro and second full year as a Grizzly. Other Grizzlies that are returning include Aaron Aragon, who's really been outstanding in practice this week. Aragon last year had 10 goals and 6 assists. He started last season as a member of the Idaho Steelheads, and he was actually very productive in 4 games with Idaho, where he had 2 goals and 3 assists, but the Steelheads let him go partly due to forward depth. The Grizzlies picked him up, and he was certainly a solid glue guy for the Grizzlies last season, and I can see Aaron Aragon taking a step forward this year. Another forward that's returning is Luke Manning, who's making his first full season as a pro. Remember, Manning made his professional debut during the Miracle at Maverick Center, or the Maverick Center Miracle, or whatever we want to call it, where the Grizzlies overcame a 4-1 deficit as they scored 3 goals in 68 seconds, and then Josh Wesley won it in overtime. Manning, in 14 games with the Grizzlies at the end of last season, had 2 goals and 6 assists. He'll be wearing number 16 for the Grizzlies tonight, and we'll see what he brings to the table. Max Neal and Blake Wells will also return. Wells played in 3 games last season for the Grizzlies towards the end of the year, and for Max Neal, he played in 17 games and had 2 assists with the Grizzlies last season. To start last year, he played at the University of Waterloo. So 7 forwards returning this season: Aragon, Fitz-Gallant, as well as Luke Manning, Mick Messner, Max Neal, and Blake Wells. 6 of those 7 will be in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. Veteran Dylan Fitz will sit out. He'll probably play in tomorrow afternoon in Idaho Falls. There are 4 defensemen that have got previous Grizzlies experience, and as we mentioned in the last segment, James Shearer is back in a Grizzlies uniform. He was certainly one of Utah's most dependable defensemen during the 2022-23 campaign. That year, he was one of those guys that, he does some things statistically, but it's really what he does away from the puck. He's just always in the right place at the right time. Yeah, in 39 games last season in the EIHL with Coventry, he had 2 goals and 11 assists. It'll be great to see Shearer back in a Grizzlies uniform in 80 total regular season games with the Grizzlies. He had 9 goals and 25 assists. He was the captain of the WHL's Brandon Wheat Kings. And I imagine next week, Ryan Kanasowicz is going to name captains for the upcoming season. And I got to think, whether he's wearing the C or not, James Shearer is going to be a big-time team leader for the Grizzlies this season. Johnny Fairbrother's back in a Grizzlies uniform. He played in 8 games with Utah last year. He spent most of last season with the Colorado Eagles. Fairbrother actually scored a goal in the final weekend of the regular season here in Boise. He'll be wearing number 24 for the Grizzlies this season. Last year, he was number 3. He just came off a 3-year NHL entry-level contract, and Fairbrother is somebody I imagine is going to have a big year, especially if he can find a way to stay healthy. 6 feet, 204 pounds. He's got an outstanding shot, good skater, and I think Fairbrother, as long as he stays healthy, knock on wood, he's going to be solid for the Grizzlies this season. Brian Yoon's not going to be in the lineup tonight, but Yoon did lead the Grizzlies in plus-minus last season at plus 11. Remember, Yoon played with the Grizzlies the first half of the season, and then in the middle of January, he got loaned to the AHL's Hartford Wolfpack. Well, he played so well for Hartford, he stayed there the rest of the season. He ended up playing in 8 games with Hartford and scored 2 goals, and he had a +1 rating in the AHL last year. For the Grizzlies in 35 games, Yoon had 3 goals and 14 assists and a team-leading +11 rating. So Brian Yoon will be back in there for the Grizzlies this season, although he will not be in tonight's lineup. Cade Jensen, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing him play. He really was an outstanding performer in the preseason last year, and in particular in that game in Idaho Falls where the Grizzlies won 6-0. Jensen played in 4 games and had a +1 rating for the Grizzlies in that last season before sustaining a season-ending injury on November 8th against Wichita. So 4 returning defensemen from last season's club, or 4 returning defensemen period, as Shearer played 2 years ago. Fairbrother, Jensen, James Shearer, and Brian Yoon. Yoon will be one of 2 defensemen who will not be in the lineup. Derek Dashke, who was outstanding with Kalamazoo last year, is also going to be a scratch. We'll talk about Dashke a lot more tomorrow if he's going to be in the lineup, as Dashke is certainly a guy that's got a lethal shot. He had 16 goals with Kalamazoo last season, and he's somebody to keep an eye out for. Vinny Duplessis is not in the Grizzlies lineup tonight, but he is a returning goaltender. He played the final weekend of the regular season here in this very building, and he performed pretty well. Even though the Grizzlies lost both games, Duplessis did a good job keeping the Grizzlies in both contests. So those are the returning players for the Grizzlies this season. We'll talk about some of the new faces on the other side, including Neil Shea, who played with Newfoundland last year, and he played well against the Grizzlies. We'll talk about him and some of the other new members of the Utah Grizzlies. It's the Grizzlies pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network. Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting. Face off in about 8 minutes from now here from Idaho Central Arena. The Grizzlies will take on the Steelheads in the preseason opener. Neil Shea is a new member of the Grizzlies. Last season in 64 games in Newfoundland, had 18 goals and 19 assists. He performed well against the Grizzlies in 6 games last season. Watch out for Shea, who played his college hockey at Northeastern University from 2019 through 2021. It's his second full season as a pro. He's got 6 games of AHL experience with the Chicago Wolves. So watch out for Neil Shea, 6'1", 195 pounds, 25 years old. He'll be wearing number 22 for the Grizzlies tonight. Briley Wood had a really breakout season in the WHL, as Wood in 60 games had 28 goals and 34 assists. He had a plus 13 rating in the WHL last season. He's only 21 years old, 6'3", 188 pounds, and he will be a rookie this season. Watch out for Briley Wood. He's got a lot of potential. He will be on that top forward line tonight with Neil Shea and Cole Gallant. Other new members of the Grizzlies, Craig Armstrong, 5'9", 195 pounds, played in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League and had 17 goals and 22 assists in 67 games. Armstrong, 21 years old, will be a rookie, and he'll be on the Grizzlies' third forward line tonight. Tyson Upper, number 26, the former University of Calgary product, will be in there. In fact, Upper, in his first season at the University of Calgary, was a teammate with James Shearer. And so they reunite in 3 seasons in the WHL. Upper had 18 goals and 33 assists. That was prior to his college days at the University of Calgary last season. In 21 games, had 4 goals and 3 assists. Curtis Abbott is also new to the Grizzlies this season. He played at SUNY Morrisville State College from 2021 through 2024, where he had 21 goals and 30 assists in 70 games. We'll also see Nick Pastorius tonight. Pastorius has previous experience in this league with Iowa and Newfoundland. A couple key forwards that are not going to be in the lineup tonight. Keaton Mastrodonato, who's certainly familiar in terms of Idaho fans' eyes, as Mastrodonato was a Steelhead last season, and he was certainly a big-time performer for Idaho, as he was one of their best forwards in 48 games with the Steelheads last year. He had 24 goals and 18 assists and had a +3 rating. He also appeared in 19 AHL games with the Texas Stars and had 4 goals. So Mastrodonato, he's not in the lineup tonight. He might play tomorrow, but either way, he's going to be a key contributor. And if he's with Utah for the majority of this season, I imagine he's going to be one of the Grizzlies' top scorers. You also won't see Cade Nielsen in there. Nielsen, who played in the EIHL earlier this season for the team that his father is the head coach of. He played at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. He got injured in practice earlier this week, and so we will not see Cade Nielsen this weekend, and hopefully he will be good to go once the regular season starts. He's a native of Nottingham, England, 23 years old. Last season at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, had 5 goals and 14 assists. So those are the new members of the Grizzlies, and it's certainly going to be a ton of fun. We mentioned Derek Daschke, the star defenseman for Kalamazoo last year. He had 16 goals, which was tied for second most in the league among blue liners. He will not be in there. Chase Hartje will be. Hartje played with Coventry towards the end of last season, where he was a teammate of James Shearer's. He'll be wearing number 20, the Bemidji, Minnesota native. You also see Kabori Dunn making his pro debut next week, but Kabori Dunn will be in there, the first-year pro who played with Lindenwood University last season. He's only 22 years old, and he's got a lot of potential. He is 6'2" and 180 pounds. And Kyle Powell, the big 6'6", 225-pound defenseman, will be in there for the Grizzlies tonight. He played in the NIHL last season. Let's go over the lineup for the Grizzlies this evening as the lights are out. The Steelheads mascot waving the flag at center ice as he's got a fishing costume. And, in fact, the Grizzlies will have a fishing night in the month of February against Idaho, where the Grizzlies look to hook the Steelheads. First line forwards tonight are going to be Neil Shea as well as Cole Gallant and Briley Wood. Second line forwards for the Grizzlies will be Mick Messner along with Luke Manning and Aaron Aragon. Third line forwards, left wing will be Craig Armstrong. Center is Tyson Upper, and the right wing is Blake Woods. The fourth line will have Curtis Abbott, Max Neal, and Nick Pastorius. Sixth defenseman for Ryan Kanasowicz's crew tonight. Top defensive pairing is James Shearer and Gianni Fairbrother. And we also see Cade Jensen paired up with Kabori Dunn. And Kyle Powell is paired up with Chase Hartje. The starting goaltender for the Grizzlies tonight is Jake Barcheski. He's got a ton of college experience. In fact, he's got about as much college experience as you can get. He was a 5-year starter in college at Canisius College. He started for 4 straight seasons from 2019 through 2023. And at Canisius, in 100 games, he had a record of 44, 42, and 8 with a .917 save percentage. Last season, he transferred to the University of Michigan, where Barcheski had a record of 20, 14, and 3 with a .907 save percentage and a 2.84 goals against average. Barcheski is 25 years old. He played 1 game for the Colorado Eagles last season. He'll be wearing number 39, and he's in net for the Grizzlies. The Idaho Steelheads, I know every Steelhead fan is excited to see Thomas Scholl back in a Steelheads uniform. That's right, Scholl, who was the 2019-2020 league goaltender of the year with Idaho and 91 games with the Steelheads through a 3-year stretch from 2018 through 2020. Scholl has a record of 68, 20, and 9 with a .930 save percentage and a 2.07 goals against average and 12 shutouts. So Thomas Scholl, who Steelhead fans applaud him right now, and he's somebody that's going to be a big factor this season for the Steelheads. And if he's anything like he was in his first stint in the Steelheads uniform, they got themselves an elite goaltender here in Boise. Maybe the best defensive pairing in the league is future Hall of Famer Matt Register. He's paired up tonight with Patrick Kudla. Kudla last season was the league defenseman of the year. So Register and Kudla will be the starting defensive pairing here this evening. Starting forwards include Ty Pelton-Bice, number 17. He's paired up with Hank Crone, who was the league MVP in the 2022-23 season with the Allen Americans, and Thomas Caron, who's got lots of AHL experience. Caron last season played with Manitoba in the AHL as well as the Norfolk Admirals in the ECHL, and he's got good size at 6'2" and 220 pounds. So that's the starters for the Steelheads. Register as well as Patrick Kudla, with a forward line of Thomas Caron, Ty Pelton-Bice, and Hank Crone. We'll come back and have face-off here in Boise, as the Steelheads are going to be wearing a white jersey with dark numbers and a little bit of silver on the shoulders. The Grizzlies are wearing a black jersey with white numbers and professional green trim. Looks like somebody took a spill over in the near corner of the right side of the ice, and they are being helped off. Hopefully that person is doing okay. As looks like we got a good crowd here on a Saturday night at Idaho Central Arena. It's the first of 2 preseason games this weekend. Remember, Sunday afternoon will be in Idaho Falls. Face-off will be at about 3 o'clock. When we come back, we'll give you the Grizzlies starters and have face-off here on a Saturday night. This has been the Utah Grizzlies pregame report on the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, You always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Always gives you more ways to save on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Smith's app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. With a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Discover more ways to save big every day. Smith's, fresh forever.
The tradition of Utah Grizzlies hockey continues as they begin their 30th season of professional hockey in the Salt Lake Valley. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's a good night for hockey. No standings points are on the line tonight as it's just the first of two preseason games here in the state of Idaho. Head coach for the Grizzlies is Ryan Knaswich. It is his fourth season behind the bench for the Grizz. For the Idaho Steelheads, their head coach is Everett Sheen. It's his fifth season as Steelheads head coach. He's got a record of 178, 82, and 17, and he also has a 17 and 13 postseason record. Starting forwards for the Grizzlies will be their top forward line of Neil Shea, Cole Gallant, and Briley Wood. Watch out for Shea. He had a great year with Newfoundland last year. James Schur and Gianni Fairbrother are the starting defensive pairing. Idaho will start out with Hank Crone, Ty Pelton, Bice, and Thomas Cron, as Bice will take the face-off against Cole Gallant. Matt Register and Patrick Cudlett are the defensive pairing. Utah wins the draw. They skate from left to right as we begin the preseason. Fairbrother banks it off the near boards. Hank Crone gets it and tried to dump it in. It bounced off the Gallant onto Cudlett. Over across to Register. Long-range pass left side. Skips over Hank Crone's stick. Cole Gallant right side enters the zone onside. He shuffles it towards the right side. Neil Shea with a lefty shot that goes wide. The puck rolls all the way along the far wing boards deep into the Grizzlies zone. Jake Barcheski, the Michigan man last year, he played at Canisius for 4 years before that. Bice in front of the crease, taps away. Shot goes wide. That was taken by Thomas Cron out in front of the crease as he missed it high. Up top, Roman Radzinski throws to the right side. Now down the middle for Cron. Backhand shot saved by Barcheski. And he holds on as we get our first whistle of the game, 41 seconds in. Both teams will make a line change as the Grizzlies will get Cade Jensen. He'll be paired up with Kabori Dunn. That's the defensive pairing. Luke Manning will take the face-off. He's out there with Mick Messner and Aaron Aragon. Aragon's looked particularly strong here in the preseason over in training camp. Idaho's longtime captain A.J. White will take the draw. White is in his sixth season as captain of the Steelheads. Idaho wins the draw. Rodzinski throws it towards the near corner. Jensen delivers a hit. And the puck goes to Kabori Dunn. He skates towards the far corner. He'll tattoo it off the far glass. It goes to center ice, wobbling puck. Grizzlies onside. Another offside, says the linesman, as Luke Manning skated into the zone left side, but the Grizzlies are called for offside as we get another whistle, 59 seconds in. Fans still filing in here. An outstanding crowd for the preseason as the draw is going to go into Grizzlies territory, neutral ice. Draw is going to be on the far side as Manning will take the draw against Mark Over. Over 36 years old, has got an interesting story. First time he's been in the ECHL. He had 3 different NHL seasons with the Colorado Avalanche in the early 2010s. Utah wins the draw. Manning over towards Jensen, who gets the Dunn near the Grizzlies bench. Dunn right wing crosses center ice. Hill advances. It bounced off the stick of Stan Demon. Big time hit as Over goes down. He goes there with Messner. Messner will throw it to his left to Manning. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Scholl. Rebound shot. Saved by Scholl again. Manning gets over to Jensen. It goes behind him out to center ice. Jensen over to Aragon, who backhands it in deep as the puck gets some air under it. Grizzlies make a lines change as Chase Hartge is out there with Kyle Powell. Still head skate from right to left as Stan Demon, who played with Allen last year, will dump it in as it bounced off of Craig Armstrong, wearing number 3. Armstrong, a small shifty player. Couple left side, shot is blocked by Armstrong towards the near corner as Lyndon McCollum gets hit by Kyle Powell. Powell, the biggest of all the Grizzlies, at 6'6", 225. Cuddle over to Register. High slot, lefty shot. Glove saved by Barcheski, and he holds on. 18:02 left in the first period. As Idaho's taken 2 shots, Grizzlies have 1. Pretty tough test as Idaho is really going with a lot of their big guns this evening. They might sit some guys like Register and A.J. White tomorrow afternoon in Idaho Falls. Tyson Upper will take the face-off. He played at the University of Calgary the last 3 years. Taking it for Idaho is Brendan Hoffman as Upper wins the face-off. Powell gets out to center ice for Wells. It taps off his stick. Jade Miller backhands it in. Hartge, far circle of the Grizzlies zone, will throw it to center ice. It bounced off the skate of Register. At the center ice logo, Huffman gets it poked away by Wells, and dumping in is Armstrong at the end of his shift is Curtis Abbott. Number 17 will come in. Abbott played at SUNY Morrisville State the last 4 years. Kudla lifts it high into the air, bounces at neutral ice. It goes to Fairbrother at the Utah line. He'll push it ahead to Abbott, who crosses center ice, and he'll dump it into the far corner. Chasing after it, Nick Canati with the Grizzly. They look for Abbott out in front of the Grizzlies, but he couldn't reach it. Nick Pastorius, number 42. He delivers a hit on Kudla. Puck in front of Idaho's net. Register gets it. He'll push to Canati, who's playing forward tonight, normally a defenseman. Over to Kudla, back to Canati. Right wing, he crosses center ice. He gets around 2 Grizzlies and dumps it in as it bounced off one of the linesmen. Shearer gets hit by Canati, who Canati led the Steelheads in fighting majors last year with 7. Pastorius left wing, gains the line. He'll take a righty shot. And a blocker saved by Scholl as the puck goes towards the far corner deep in the Steelhead zone. Idaho throws out the center ice as we get a whistle. And Scholl, after he made the save, was pointing towards something towards the far side. He thought that the puck ended up hitting the protective netting, and he wanted a stoppage of play. And he got one with 16:53 left in the first. Both teams have taken 2 shots. We're still early on, so grab some chips and dip and a beverage of your choice and enjoy a little bit of Saturday with us. Gallant will take the draw. He's got Neil Shea to his right, and to his left is Briley Wood. Idaho wins the draw. They skate into the offensive zone. They've got good team speed. They'll throw it on to Barcheski, who kicks it towards the near corner. Neil Shea, who played with Newfoundland last year, he's got good speed. He gets neutral ice with ease. Left wing, he'll throw it to Gallant down the middle. Grizzlies enter the zone. Gallant trying to get it back to Shea. It's poked away by Idaho. As Briley Wood took it away, gets it to Gallant left side. He gets it poked away by Roman Rodzinski. As crossing center ice is Thomas Caron, who played in the AHL with Manitoba last year. Also spent some time with the Norfolk Admirals. He played against the Grizzlies in March. As Stan Demon, high slot, will backhand it off the far boards. Caron will throw it towards Trevor Zins, number 2. He gets the bias, trying to get it to Crone down the middle. It taps off his stick. Grizzlies come up with it. Dunn will throw it all the way down for an icing as he was looking for Gallant to cut towards the middle of the ice. So icing on Utah with 16:03 left in the first. Nobody scored yet. Both teams have taken 3 shots. I just kind of glanced over it, but boy, for the Steelheads to get Thomas Scholl back in net, a guy who was an absolute superstar for 2 full seasons, the 2018-2019 season and the year after that, where he was the goaltender of the year. Hank Crone takes a shot after Idaho wins the faceoff, and it's blocked by Cade Jensen. Briley Wood will throw it into the Steelhead zone as Neil Shea gets taken off the puck by Zins. Idaho skates around their net. Bice at center ice. The Grizzlies killer left wing. Steps over the line, veers off to the right. And so get it towards Crone. And now Caron, right wing. Lefty shot is blocked by Barcheski, who holds on. 15:38 left in the first, as Idaho now has 4 shots to the Grizzlies' 3. I know there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. We appreciate you choosing the Grizzlies here tonight in the preseason opener. Bice will take the face-off for Idaho against Luke Manning. Manning, 5'10", 190 pounds, out of Stillwater, Minnesota. He played in 14 games with the Grizzlies at the end of last season, had 2 goals and 6 assists. Utah wins the draw. Kyle Powell will lift it out to center ice. Now entering the zone left side is Manning. Left circle, lefty shot. Glove saved by Scholl, and he will hold on as Grizzlies are up to 4 shots. Manning had a pretty good look, and he's somebody that can really motor. You talk about a pretty quick forward line that they got there with Manning, Messner and Aragon. And Aragon looks even faster this year than he did last season, as Aragon came into camp in great shape, and I got a feeling he's going to have a breakout year for the Grizzlies. He had 10 goals last season, and Aragon is primed for a good season here in 2024-25. Draw won by Mark Over and Idaho, as they'll dump it to center ice. Kyle Powell gets it, as he'll tattoo it off the near boards near the Idaho bench. Aragon got cut off by Register. Kubla gets it. He skates around his net towards the far side. Kubla has a bounce off of Aragon. Grizzlies in the attack zone. Luke Manning right side. Backhands the centering pass to Messner. Saved by Scholl. Idaho comes back the other way. Mark Over, the 36-year-old with 3 years of NHL experience, gets spun around to see who's entering the attack zone. Good defensive play by Mick Messner, as Tyson Upper crosses center ice left wing, and he'll loft it in as he got some air under the puck about 10 feet. Over to the near side. Armstrong gets spun around. Puck goes to A.J. White, who does a half circle in the Steelhead zone. He's about 10 feet in front of Scholl. He'll push it towards Radzinski. Now to center ice. Upper will take it away from Hoffman as Upper dumps it in. As the puck goes back to Reese Harsh, number 24, and he'll ice the puck deep into the Grizzly zone, racing after its fair brother as the whistle blows with 14 minutes and 28 seconds left here in the first. So 5.5 minutes in, looks like the action's been pretty even, as both sides have had just about an equal amount of offensive zone time. James Scherer out on the ice with Johnny Fairbrother, and boy, Scherer was one of the outstanding performers for the Grizzlies in the 2022-23 season. Scherer, that year in 54 games, had 6 goals and 17 assists. Idaho wins the draw. They skate from right to left here in the first period. As Radzinski gets knocked down far side, the linesman, the way Pastorius runs into the linesman. As Huffman crosses center ice, now backhanded in deep. Scherer chases after it, sporting a mustache. He'll roll it along the boards to the far side. Idaho in the attack zone, right side shot, saved by Barcheski, as that shot was taken by Reese Harsh. Over to center ice, Abbott drops it for Neal. Neal spins it around the board. Scholl cuts it off behind his net. Scholl's not a very big guy at 6 feet, 180 pounds. Over to Brendan Huffman, and he'll shovel it out to center ice. Puck hippity hops towards Jade Miller. Miller in his third season with the Steelheads throws it back to Harsh. Harsh right wings it to neutral ice. Puck is accepted by Lyndon McCollum, who dumps it in out of play as it goes into road 2 of the seats. McCollum had an outstanding night against the Grizzlies on March 1st of 2024, where he had 3 goals and 2 assists. 13:42 left in the first period. Still no score. Both teams have taken 5 shots. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Audio Network.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. Shop over 50 new Kia Sorentos with savings up to $4,500 off at Jerry Seiner Kia, South Jordan.
At Black Bear Diner, you always get more. More choice, more amazing food, more value, from huge breakfasts to delicious lunches and hearty dinners. Black Bear Diner has more for you. So get more when you want it, the way you want it, and get it today.
Good old-fashioned family food, Black Bear Diner. Black Bear Diner.
13:42 left in the first period. The tradition of Utah hockey continues. The 30th season of Grizzlies hockey will be celebrating that all season long. Draws at neutral ice, no score. Both teams have taken 5 shots, a pretty even first segment of play. Cole Gallant will take the draw against number 36, Blake Swetlikoff. Swetlikoff, first-year pro. Idaho wins the draw. Demon dumps it in. Jake Barcheski, wearing number 39, throws to the far side. Grizzlies. Gallant loses his balance, but he'll push it ahead towards Wood. Wood gets it to Gallant. Grizzlies enter the attack zone. Idaho pokes it away. Wood gets cut off by Swetlikoff, who skates along the near side out to center ice. Nick Canati dumps on to Barcheski, who gloves it, drops it for Cade Jensen to keep play alive. Jensen over to Dunn, moves it across to Gallant. Gallant tried to push it ahead. It bounced off the Thomas Cron skate. Idaho in the attack zone. Hoffman to Cron, who couldn't handle the centering pass cleanly. Cron over to the far side. He's now at the right point. He'll backhand it behind the Grizzlies net. Kabori Dunn gets it. The 6'2 defenseman, first-year pro, gets back checked by Bice. Puck goes to Jensen, trying to get it to Dunn. Pass too hot to handle. Now Dunn gets it back. He gets back checked. Cron still in the offensive zone. Left wing, he overskates the puck. Dunn battles with Caron as Caron overskates it. Now Dunn near side, moves it across down the middle to Manning. Manning into the zone wearing number 16. He gets around Demon. Now Manning around the net stops as he gets cut off by Register. Messner in the area. Messner far side, centers to Aragon. Shot and a score! Messner to Aragon to the back of the net. And the Grizzlies draw first blood with 12:30 left in the first. Boy, do I sound like a prophet. I told you that Aaron Aragon's had an outstanding camp. And Aragon, who had 10 goals last season, tallies Utah's first here in the preseason. That's a pretty quick and shifty forward line with Manning, Messner, and Aragon. I think Messner and Manning are going to get assists on the Aragon goal. 12:30 left in the first. Utah leads 1-0. Grizzlies win the draw. Chase Hartjeep, who played with Coventry at the end of the EIHL season, finishing up a college career, over to Aragon at center ice. He'll fly it out of play into row one over in the right corner of the Steelhead zone. Hopefully everybody's okay there. Draw's going to come at center ice. Some key players are scratches on both sides. We'll go over them here during the next whistle as Manning will take the draw against Mark Over. Over's father was the former Steelheads coach back from 2000 through 2005. In fact, John Over, who's Mark Over's father, won the Kelly Cup here in 2004 with the Steelheads. Kyle Powell will one-handed out. Connor McEachern skates in for the Steelheads. Idaho looking for the tying goal. McEachern feeds it out in front. Over had the pass go behind him as he wasn't looking at it. McEachern left side. Lefty shot is blocked away by Barcheski off his right shoulder. Idaho still in the attack zone. Register over to Kudla high slot. Kudla dances around. Now he shuffles towards his left with Aragon on him like a cheap suit. He'll drop it from McEachern. Does Kudla. Now register right side. Delayed penalty. Shot saved by Barcheski. And touching it up is Mick Messner. Penalty on the Grizzlies. Hooking's the call, and the Steelheads will get their first power play of the preseason. Aaron Aragon, who scored Utah's goal 7:30 in, gets 2 minutes for hooking with 11:41 left in the first. Idaho had the number one power play unit in the league last season. Grizzlies were in last place on the penalty kill. That's something obviously the Grizzlies would love to correct this season. Ty Pelton-Bice will take the draw. He's got Crone to his right, McCollum to his left. Kudla up top takes the face off and wins it as Kudla over in the high slot over to Hank Crone. Crone dances around the near circle, gets it to Kudla, who surveys and gets it back to Crone left side. Crone throws it to McCollum. McCollum shot saved by Barcheski. Puck goes to Wells, who bouncing off the end boards over to Fairbrother, who backhands it, and it bounces off the Steelhead. Puck still in the Idaho attack zone. Kudla down the middle. He'll push it to his right. As the Steelheads get to Bison, a hot pass. He'll throw it back up top to Karan over to Kudla. Kudla slides it towards Bice. Bice back to Kudla down the middle. He'll feed it to his right. One-timer saved by Barcheski. That shot was taken by Hank Crone. Crone gets it back on the right side. He played with Allen the last two seasons and was outstanding. Karan over to Crone over in the far corner. Centering pass, shot to score. Crone with a beautiful feed out in front to Ty Pelton-Bice. As the Steelheads get a power play goal and we're tied at 1. Boy, Crone was very patient over in the far corner. He just waited for Ty Pelton-Bice to come down the backside over there on the left as Bice put it away. He was a Grizzlies killer last season, and he kills the Grizzlies here in the preseason. One fan throws a fish on the ice, and a guy in a goofy-looking fish costume will pick it up and celebrate and get it off the ice. Bice had 17 goals and 43 assists in 57 games last season. Hank Crone, who was the MVP in the league 2 years ago, is going to be a big addition to the Steelheads this year. So we're tied at 1. Aragon scored for Utah, and a minute and a half later, it was Ty Pelton-Bice tying it up. Grizzlies won the face-off. We're about halfway through the first period. Dunn slides it towards Jensen. Across to Pastorius, right side. He crosses center ice. He'll push to his left as he dumps it in. Puck tattoos off the end boards. Reese Harsh gets it near side. He'll get to Brandon Hoffman. We'll bank it off the near boards. Dunn gets it center ice. He'll push it across. Chasing after it's Abbott. He'll push to Pastorius. Pastorius over the line. He gets hit by Hoffman. As Idaho will get it out to center ice. 3-on-2. Steelheads in the attack zone. Hoffman skates around Utah's net. Center pass. Shot saved by Barcheski as Harsh had a good look out in front. Pastorius gets hit by Miller. Pastorius a pretty strong player. Abbott over to Pastorius. 2-on-1. Pastorius right wing. He'll dangle. Now take a shot. And didn't get much on it as he was cut off by Roman Rodzinski. Idaho neutralized. Jade Miller across the center, 1-on-4. He'll loft it in slowly and make the Steelheads make a line change. Grizzlies switch things up as well. Woods out there with Gallant. Gallant has the puck. Long-range pass towards the middle is taken by Trevor Zins at the Idaho line as Neil Shea gets a piece of the Zins pass. Miller loses his stick. Grizzlies in the attack zone. Shea over to Wood. who lays it towards Hart. G shot is sticked away by Scholl. Grizzlies in the attack zone. Neil Shea skates towards the left circle. Shea's got good speed. Lefty shot. Saved by Scholl. And he holds on as Neil Shea really made that play with his speed and playmaking ability. 9:28 left in the first period. Aaron Aragon scored 7.5 minutes in. Idaho got a power play, and Ty Pelton-Bice put it away. He had 17 goals last season. We're tied at 1 with 9:28 left in the first period. Idaho's taken 9 shots, and the Grizzlies have 8. This is the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies hockey. We're tied at 1 with 9:28 left in the first period. Some key players there are scratches tonight for the Grizzlies. Keaton Mastrodonato, who had 24 goals in 48 games with the Steelheads last year. He also spent quite a bit of time in the AHL. He's a scratch. He might play tomorrow. He's going to be a key contributor for the Grizzlies. Dylan Fitz, who had 21 goals last season, is also a scratch. Cade Nelson got injured in practice earlier this week. He's out. The 2 defensemen there are scratches for the Grizzlies are Brian Yoon and Derek Dashke. Both of those blue liners are going to have key roles for the Grizzlies in the upcoming season. Cole Gallant will take the drives out there with Neil Shea to his left, and to his right, Briley Wood. Wood was outstanding in the WHL last season. He's a first-year pro, 21 years old. Defensive pairing Fairbrother and Shearer as Idaho wins the draw. They skate from right to left. Grizzlies from left to right here in the first period. Nick Canati pushed across. Shield picks it off, or Shea picks it off. Wood tried to lay it for a teammate. Canati took it away. Pass to center ice to McCollum as he gets it poked away. Gallant over to Shearer, left wings it towards Shea, who dumps it in. Shea and Briley Wood chase after it. Trevor Zins gets there first. He gets a good shoulder check from Wood as the Steelheads far side. Swetlikoff will move it across to Zins. A glance off of his skate. Zins gets it back at center ice, skates along the bench area as he gets taken off the puck by Briley Wood. Swetlikoff moves it across. Demon stops at the Utah line and wraps it around the boards towards the near side. Messner accepts the puck and he'll throw it across it. Glanced off of Over's stick, Olver. His father was the head coach of the Steelheads when they joined the ECHL in 2004. Fairbrother skates down the middle. Now he gets neutralized, veers off to the left. Fairbrother will drive it in hard as it goes off the end boards. Taking it is Connor McEachern, who used to play with Wichita in this league. He has some AHL time with San Jose as Idaho backhands have been out all the way out. As Luke Manning pushes across to Aragon on the right side. Aragon centers to Manuel. Take a lefty shot that goes wide. Messner backhands it out in front and hits the side of the net. Boy, that forward line's produced some good scoring chances, and Manning had a good look there. As Idaho ices the puck, we get a whistle with 8:11 left in the first. So 3 returning Grizzlies really have been outstanding offensively. Boy, Manning had a good look, and he had some room glove side on Scholl, but just missed wide. But Manning, Messner, and Aragon are off to an outstanding start here in the first 12 minutes. Tyson Upper will take the drives out there with Craig Armstrong and Blake Wells. Mark Olver will talk about him a little bit more. The 36-year-old, he'll take the draw and win it for Idaho. As Demon throws it towards McEachern, who backhands it to center ice. Dunn gloves it and drops it. Dunn got blasted by A.J. White, the Steelheads captain. As Over crosses center ice. He's back checked by Wells. Over the line, gets pushed towards the far glass by Wells. Puck goes to the near corner, deep in the Grizzlies zone. Utah gets it to Craig Armstrong, right wing. Armstrong with good speed will shuffle out to center ice. Will push to his left for Upper over to Wells. Upper overskated it, and the Grizzlies are offside with 7:44 left in the first. All right, we're still early on, but it looks like a lot of energy here displayed by both teams. Idaho's a consistent winner. They've been one of the best teams in the league over the last 2 decades. And for the Grizzlies, they look for a return trip to the playoffs. And obviously, it's going to be a long season. But the Grizzlies look pretty strong here so far. They got a lot of forward potential, especially among the guys that aren't in the lineup tonight. As center ice, Abbott dumps it in after Idaho initially won the faceoff. Reese Harsh, far side, will bounce it across. Puck gets there under it, skips it center ice. Hank Crone gets it. He gets around Kyle Powell. Crone, left side center pass, shot to score. Thrown to Karan to the back of the net. And Idaho leads 2-1. As that's the second time Crone has delivered a centering pass that led to a goal. This time it was from the near corner. Thomas Karan, who played with Norfolk last year, high fives everybody on the Steelheads bench as Idaho has scored 2 unanswered here with 7:23 left in the first. Boy, for the Steelheads, the rich get richer with the acquisition of Hank Crone, who was a superstar now in the last 2 years. Thomas Karan had 6 goals in 45 games with the Norfolk Admirals last year. He also spent 8 games with the AHL's Manitoba Moose. So Idaho leads 2-1 as Hank Crone has 2 assists. And 2 of them being the main assists on centering passes as the Grizzlies ice the puck after winning the faceoff. And the draw is going to come back towards Jake Barczewski, the Utah netminder, who last season played at the University of Michigan. Barczewski, 6'1", 180 pounds. He was born in 1999 in O'Fallon, Maryland. Ty Pelton-Bice will take the draw for Idaho against Utah's Cole Gallant. Draw won by Utah. James Shearer behind his net will drop it for Fairbrother as the Grizzlies spread the ice. Fairbrother over to Gallant near side. He advanced it towards Wood. Wood pitches it to Shearer at center ice. He crosses the red line and dumps it in. As Scholl will drop it. As it still has long-range pass, Pelton-Bice couldn't accept it. Wood over to Gallant right side. He enters the zone. Gallant looks for a centering pass, but fanned on it. As Demon in the area pushes to center ice. As Crone gets it right side. Crone on the right side. Centers the Zins. Back towards Crone. Shot goes wide on a one-time attempt as Crone was standing near the far goal line. Wood will ice the puck as we get another whistle with 6:37 left here in the first period. So a lot of offensive action here early on, and we had mentioned Hank Crone last year in 40 games with the Allen Americans. He had 17 goals and 38 assists, but it was 2 years ago where he really was a key force. In 69 games in the 2022-23 season, he had 49 goals and 56 assists in 65 games. That's Ryan Kanasowicz territory as a player. Crone was the league MVP for the Allen Americans back in the 2022-23 season. It's his 3rd year in the ECHL as the Grizzlies win the draw. Fairbrother throws out to center ice. Now it's taken by Kudla as Kudla gets it from Register near side. Back towards Register, the future Hall of Famer in this league. Register, blue line to blue line pass connects to Miller. He'll drop it to the right side to McCollum. Back to Miller, right side. Shot is blocked away by Cade Jensen. That hit Jensen. The wrist looks like he's hurt a little bit. Miller, left side shot, saved by Barczewski. Grizzlies throw it towards the near boards as Aragon gets bounced by Miller. Puck goes out to center ice. Idaho resets. Grizzlies fit in a line change as the Steelheads cross center ice, and they'll saucer it towards the near corner of the Grizzlies zone as Dunn gets a big-time hit from Nick Canati, who may be the smallest Steelhead, but he might be the toughest. As C.J. Walker gets it out of the air from Jensen. Walker around Utah's net towards the near side, slides it out in front. It goes wide as nobody was home. Harsh gets hit by Armstrong, but keeps his feet. Siren pass to Hoffman. Shot saved by Barczewski. Puck still alive as Hoffman will bounce it off the skate of the referee. Aragon near side flies to center ice. It's batted by Rodzinski. That would be a hand pass, but Dunn gets there first before Canati. As Dunn tried to one-handed ahead, it bounced off of Reese Harsh and out of play into row 1 of section, I think that's 112. 5:26 left in the first. Steelheads lead 2-1 on goals by Ty Pelton-Bice and Thomas Karan, both of them coming from Hank Crone. It's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Maverick's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
5:26 is left in the first period here in the preseason opener. Don't forget the Grizzlies and Steelheads will meet at Idaho Falls over at Mountain America Center, which is a beautiful building. And tomorrow's preseason game will start at 3 o'clock. No Flow Sports coverage, but we'll have a radio audio version as Grizzlies win the draw. Armstrong, right side, shot saved by Scholl. as Grizzlies have been active offensively, but so have the Steelheads. Blake Swetlikoff crosses center ice. No backhanded in as he gets hit by the combination of Powell and Armstrong. As Idaho gets pinned towards the boards as Barczewski looks over his right shoulder. Powell delivers a hit as puck comes squirting out towards Tyson Upper behind Idaho's net. Upper, first-year pro, will tattoo it off the near boards. It goes towards Blake Wells, who skips over the line and loses the puck over in the right point as he was being challenged by Demon. Idaho skating from right to left during the first period, crosses center ice, and Zins will skip it in. As James Schur runs after it, he gets the puck as he pivots, skates towards the far side, and gets it towards Pastorius, who gets the bouncing puck. Pastorius will dump it in slowly. It bounced off of one of the linesmen. Idaho comes back the other way, 2-on-3. They step over the line. McEachern, left side, shot. It's blocked by Fairbrother, sticking it, flies out of play off the protective netting with 4:32 left in the first. You're 6 days away from the start of the regular season. And the Grizzlies will be here at Idaho Central Arena for the regular season opener. That's going to be a 7:10 face-off. Coverage will begin at 6:50, and that's going to be a ton of fun. You can catch audio coverage all season long on the Grizzlies YouTube channel. Flow Sports is the official streaming provider. They won't do the preseason games, but Flow Sports will be there for all 72 regular season games as well as the playoffs. Off the draw, Max Neal trips over as the Steelheads win the draw. McEachern left point, shot saved by Barczewski, as James Schur behind the net will gather the puck. He'll backhand it towards Fairbrother, who gets challenged by Mark Olver, as Neal will one-hand it towards Schur behind Utah's net. He'll skate towards the far side. Grizzlies spread the ice. Schur flies it, and the puck hit the ops pass. Patrick Cudler goes deep into the Steelhead zone. Cudler runs it down. He was the league's defenseman of the year last season. Idaho spreads the ice as they have the puck with 4 minutes left in the first. Cudler skates slowly down the middle. Now pitches to Bice, right side. He crosses center ice. Bice over the line. Shuffles, dangles. He gets it poked away. Back up with it. Neil Shea. Shea pivots as he was being challenged by Harsh. Grizzlies get it back to Cade Jensen, who surveys deep in the Grizzlies zone. Across to Dunn on the right side. Dunn keeps his head up as he crosses center ice. He'll push ahead to Briley Wood on side, who one-hands it towards Shea, trying to get it back to Wood. That's picked off by Bice. Up ahead, Cade Jensen gets it in Grizzlies territory near their bench. Jensen left wings it out towards Wood, who accepts it. Wood moves it to Gallant, who gets held up by Bice. Puck goes back towards Gallant, but it's taken by Roman Rodzinski. Now to Karan, who skates down the middle. Karan, a pretty strong skater, as he stops on the left side, does a half circle. Karan surveys, moves across, it bounced off a Wood stick on to Barczewski, who pushes it to the far circle for Gallant. Gallant ahead towards Shea. Rink wide pass is picked off. McCollum skates into the zone left side, drops it for Crone. Crone left side, lefty shot is blocked by Jensen, who's blocked at least 2 shots here in the first period. Briley Wood crosses center ice. Nils saucer it in as Grizzlies make a full line change with less than 3 minutes left in the first period. Idaho leads 2-1. The Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 13-10. As Idaho, Trevor Zins dangles. Now he pushes to the near side for Miller. Across to Demon, who crosses center ice far side, and he'll drive it in. Barczewski wears number 39, and he'll bounce off the Steelhead towards the near corner, deep in the Grizzlies zone. Miller gets pushed by Kyle Powell. As Miller loses his balance, puck glides along the far wing boards. Demon keeps it in, gets to Zins. Zins right circle, centers to McCallum. It bounced off of him towards the near boards. McCallum gets back checked as Manning took it away. Manning's had a good game here so far as he's out there with Messner and Aragon and still banking off the far boards. Puck in the Idaho zone at their line. Steelheads, Hoffman ahead to Kanadi, glanced off at his stick. It glides slowly deep into the Grizzlies zone as Armstrong gets blasted by Kanadi. Well, Kanadi's a big-time hitter, even though he might be the smallest Steelhead. Armstrong over in the near corner. He gets pushed by Swetlikoff and taken off the puck. Centering pass, shot saved by Barczewski. As what a play by Idaho's third line as Kanadi was over in the near corner, found a cutting C.J. Walker. And Walker with a nice righty shot about 5 feet in front of the crease. But Barczewski was able to make the stop with 1:53 left in the first. Well, it was like there was that one-on-one battle Swetlikoff had with Armstrong. Kanadi took the puck and made a nice centering pass. And that's the thing with Nick Kanadi is he is a high hockey IQ type of player. It's his third season with the Steelheads, and he's really been impressive. Kanadi normally a defenseman, but he's playing forward for the Steelheads this evening. Drawn the near circle of the Grizzlies zone. It's won by Utah. Schur over to Fairbrother, back to Schur behind Utah's net. He skates towards the far corner, and he'll push it across out to center ice as Wells has to go past him. Armstrong into the zone, but the Grizzlies are offside with 1:40 left in the first. Idaho scratches tonight include Brian Chambers, Sam Sternshine, and Eric Olson. Earlier today, Mike Forlicki was released, one of their 8 defensemen. So Idaho's down to 7 defensemen on their preseason roster. Idaho wins the draw. They're back deep in their own zone as Register drops it for Kudla over to Svetlikov. Long-range pass connects at center ice as Steelheads drop it for Kanadi, who flies it out of play as Kanadi collided with a Grizzly, and that was Fairbrother, as the fans enjoy a little bit of pushing after the whistle as Kanadi and Fairbrother stare each other down. 1:29 left in the first. Idaho still leads 2-1. You know, there's a lot of sports and entertainment options out there. We appreciate you choosing the Grizzlies here this evening. There is no doubt that hockey is the fastest growing sport in the state of Utah. Grizzlies last season had their best attendance total since the 2002-03 year, with the Grizzlies average 6,003 fans per game. Draw at center ice. Max Neal will take it for Utah against Mark Older. Idaho wins the draw as Steelheads right side. McEachern rolls it along the boards. A.J. White along the near wall. He's the Steelheads captain. It's the 6th season as Idaho's captain over to Olver as he gets hit in the point by Dunn. Puck goes to the corner. Near side as Cade Jensen will skate towards the right corner. Arm is raised by the referee as Jensen got dragged down. It's going to be a penalty on the Steelheads as the whistle blows with 59 seconds left. Holding's going to be the call. Let's see who goes to the box. It's Roman Rodzinski for Idaho. He will serve 2 minutes. Rodzinski, 6'1", 190 pounds. He was signed by the Steelheads in December, and in 39 games with Idaho last year had 3 goals and 10 assists. He gets 2 minutes for holding as there's 59.6 seconds left here in the first. It's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1. It's Utah's first power play here in the preseason. Cole Gallant will take the draw. He's got Briley Wood to his right and Aaron Aragon to his left. Up top is Neil Shea and Gianni Fairbrother. Aragon will take the face-off, fell down. Idaho will get it, and Stan Demon will clear it out as Aragon and Mark Olver push each other. Now Aragon and Olver exchange some words at neutral ice. We get a whistle, and the referee is telling both Aragon and Mark Olver to go to the penalty box. Now the linesman has to separate Aragon and Olver. Briley Wood tries to get involved. Fairbrother pushes the Steelhead out of neutral ice along the far glass. As play starting to get physical, as Aragon's going to be in the box for the second time here in the first period. And I think Mark Olver is going to go to the box as well. Now Olver is going to go to the bench. Maybe he'll go to the locker room. As the door opens, Mark Olver, the 36 years old, will head to the locker room. Fairbrother will go to the box as well. So that might do it for Utah's power play. Boy, a 36-year-old crafty veteran like Mark Olver knew that he was shorthanded and tried to, I think, bait Aaron Aragon into something. And maybe it wasn't Aragon as much as Fairbrother. It looked like he had Brendan Hoffman pushed along the glass. That was Rodzinski who was in the box, and that's why Utah had the power play. There's 2 Grizzlies in the box. A Steelhead is in the box, and that's Rodzinski. That's why the Grizzlies had the power play, and Olver has gone to the locker room. For my money, this is the best rivalry in the league. These Mountain Division opponents usually meet about 13 or 14 times a year. The Steelheads will be at Maverick Center for 7 regular season games. However, it is a little bit odd that the Steelheads will only have 3, the Grizzlies will only have 3 games here at Idaho Central during the regular season. So it looks like we're going to skate 4-on-4. So the Grizzlies power play lasts all of 12 seconds. Draw's going to be at center ice. There's 46 seconds left in the first period. Neil Shea's out there with Cole Gallant, Kabori Dunn, and James Shearer. So we're skating 4-on-4 as Fairbrother is in the box with Aragon. Ty Pelton Bice will take the face-off for Idaho. Steelheads win it, but Dunn takes it away from Hank Crone on the back check. Dunn, right point, skates towards his left. He'll backhand it to Neil Shea in the right point. Shea exits the zone voluntarily as he's being shadowed by Register. Shea pushes to Dunn near the Grizzlies bench. Now across to Shea. He'll skate into the zone left side. He'll veer off to the right. He'll drop it off for Galana. Righty. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Register. It bounced off his stick and flies out of play off the protective netting. A good play there by Neil Shea. It looked like the Grizzlies were trying to isolate him on the left side. Then once Shea entered the zone, dropped it off for Galana, who had a pretty good look over in the left circle. 23 seconds left in the first period. Steelheads lead 2-1. Draw one by the Grizzlies. James Shear. He had 6 goals for the Grizzlies 2 years ago. Over to Dunn. Back to Shear. He's on the right side as he'll push it towards Shea. Shea across to Galan in the high slot. It's taken away by Idaho as it goes out to center ice. Bice right wing. Long range pass is picked off at the Utah line by Gallant. Shea 2-on-2. Enters the zone from the left side. Shea overskates it as he'll lose his balance and throw it out to center ice. Hank Crone at center ice as the horn sounds. And that will do it for 20 minutes of play here at Idaho Central Arena. As the Grizzlies scored first, as Aaron Aragon found the back of the net 7.5 minutes in on a great pass from Luke Manning. But Idaho responded with 2 unanswered as they scored on the power play about halfway through the first period as Hank Crone from the right corner centered it to Ty Pelton Bice, who was cutting towards the net. And Bice scored just a little bit towards the near post. Bice had 17 goals last season. He scores here in the preseason. And then a few minutes later, Crone was in the left corner, centered it to Thomas Caron, who put it away to give Idaho a 2-1 lead. And that's where we sit after 20 minutes of play. Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 14-10 in the first period. We'll come back and recap the first 20 minutes of play. And we'll also talk about both teams' forward units. We'll talk about the Grizzlies' forward units, and that includes a couple key forwards who are not in the lineup tonight. We'll also talk about Idaho's forwards as the Steelheads are not doing a broadcast tonight. We'll talk about the high-powered offense of the Idaho Steelheads, who led the league in goals last season. We're through 20 minutes here on the preseason opener, and the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 2-1. I'm Tyson Whiting. We'll be back in 2 minutes here on the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. Shop over 50 new Kia Sorrentos with savings up to $4,500 off at Jerry Seiner Kia, Salt Lake. Why is Jerry Seiner?
Smith's always gives you more ways to save on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Smith's app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. With a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Discover more ways to save big every day. Smith's, fresh for
First intermission here at Idaho Central Arena. The Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 2-1. Utah got on the board first as Aaron Aragon scored on a nice centering pass from Luke Manning. Manning and Messner got the assist. That was an even strength goal, 7:30 into the first period. Aragon got a hooky minor, 8:19 into the first. That might have even been on the same shift that he scored the goal on because he stayed on the ice and then got the hooky minor, 8:19 in. And about halfway through that power play, 9:10 into the first period, Hank Crone was over on the right side. Ty Pelton Bice was just kind of cutting along the left wing. Crone found Bice out in front of the net, and Bice put it away. He had 17 goals last season. And Hank Crone, who's really a magician with the puck, picked up the assist as well as Thomas Caron. And that was 9:10 into the first period. A power play goal for the Steelheads. Idaho is 1 for 2 on the power play, and Utah is 0 for 1. Steelheads took a 2-1 lead as Hank Crone was over in the left corner, found a centering pass out to Thomas Caron, and Caron put it away, 12:37 in. Crone and Reese Harsh picked up the assist as the Steelheads took a 2-1 lead, 12:37 into the first period. We skated 4-on-4 at the end of the first period. Roman Rudzinski got a holding minor, 19:01 and one in, and then 13 seconds later, Aragon got a high sticky minor, and Fairbrother and Mark Olver each picked up matching roughing minors, and that was all 9:14 into the first period. So with that, the Grizzlies lost their power play, and we skated 4-on-4 in the final minute of the first period. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for the first minute and 1 second of the second period, and then Idaho will have an abbreviated 13-second power play after that. Among the 10 shots for the Grizzlies, Luke Manning led the way with 3. He was the only Grizzly that had more than one in the period. Craig Armstrong, Mick Messner, Aaron Aragon. Aragon's one shot turned into a goal. Chase Hartgee, Neil Shea, Cole Gallant, and Nick Pastorius each had one shot for the Grizzlies in the first period. For the Steelheads, they had 14 shots in the frame. Thomas Caron had 3 shots, scoring 1 goal and 1 assist, so he already has a multiple-point game. C.J. Walker had 2 shots. He had a really good look on a centering pass from Nick Canati that could have made it a 3-1 game. That was probably the best save that Utah goaltender Jake Barcheski made in the first period. A bunch of other Steelheads had 1 shot in the frame. Utah goaltender Jake Barcheski saved 12 of 14. He made his pro debut late last season with the Colorado Eagles. Barcheski has 5 years of starting experience at the college level. He started for 4 years at Canisius College from 2019 through 2023, where he played in 100 games and had a .917 save percentage. Last year, he transferred to the University of Michigan, where he had a solid season with a record of 20-14-3 with a 2.84 goals against average and .907 save percentage. So Jake Barcheski, he's 25 years old, 6'1", 175 pounds. Looks like he's going to be a good one this season. For Idaho, I imagine every Steelheads fan is excited to have Thomas Scholl back in net. Scholl won the league's Goaltender of the Year award as a member of the Steelheads back in the 2019-2020 season. He then the next year played in 12 games in the AHL with the Texas Stars, but has since then played in Slovakia as well as a couple other countries. And so Thomas Scholl is back in the States with the Idaho Steelheads, 30 years old. And he might be the best goaltender the Steelheads have ever had. As Idaho leads 2-1. Let's see what happens here in the middle frame. When we come back to the Grizzlies intermission report, we will go over some ECHL preseason scores as well as some NHL scores, which I know means something to the people in the Salt Lake Valley. We'll go over that in 1 minute. After one period here at Idaho Central Arena, it's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab Tires.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. We've got over 350 new Kias to choose from. Savings. Shop over 40 new Kia Sportage models and save up to $2,500 off when you buy. Jerry Seiner has been the area's most trusted automotive source for over 40 years. Little wonder then how we've made thousands of friends to last a lifetime. Jerry Seiner Kia, Salt Lake.
First intermission here at Idaho Central Arena, and the Steelheads lead the Grizzlies 2-1. Looks like it's a thriller over at Madison Square Garden, as they're currently in overtime, as the New York Rangers are tied 5-5 with the Utah Hockey Club. Hockey Club looking to go to 3-0 on the season. They do have a standing point in all 3 games, with them being in overtime right now, and they're halfway through the overtime session, tied at 5, Utah and the New York Rangers. A few games in the NHL have already gone final. Devils defeat the Capitals 5-3. In overtime, Boston gets a 2-1 victory over the LA Kings. Buffalo defeats Florida 5-2 in a bit of an upset. Florida's just 1-2 to start the regular season. Buffalo with the victory. Their record goes to 1-3. Maple Leafs defeat the Penguins 4-2, as the Maple Leafs are now 2-1 this season. Pittsburgh's 1-2. Montreal defeats Ottawa 4-1, and the Red Wings shut out the Predators 3-0. Few games in progress in the NHL. Second intermission, the Idaho Steelheads NHL affiliate, the Dallas Stars, have a 2-0 lead over the New York Islanders, and it's after 2 periods. Also after 2, Seattle and Minnesota are tied at 2. First intermission, the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, the Colorado Avalanche, they trail Columbus 2-1. That game after 1 period. That is the home opener for the Colorado Avalanche. That was kind of fun last Saturday over at Maverick Center as they had the preseason game with the Utah Hockey Club and the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche first period goal was scored by superstar Nathan McKinnon. And for Columbus, boy, it's just kind of a tough situation there with the passing of Johnny Gaudreau, might have been their best player. And so Columbus, they're looking for their first victory of the season, but we're certainly thinking about the Gaudreau family and just kind of a tragedy all around. Columbus leads Colorado 2-1 after 1 period. Looks like that game is still in overtime. We'll give you a score in the next segment. Once that game goes finals, Utah and the New York Rangers are tied at 5. Some other ECHL preseason action going on. The regular season begins next week. Remember, the Grizzlies opener will be 6 days from now here at Idaho Central Arena. The Grizzlies will be on the road for 3 straight games. The home opener will be on Friday, November 1st against the Allen Americans. Other ECHL games, most of them have gone final. Indy defeats Bloomington, the newest member of the ECHL. That final score was 4-2. In a shootout, Cincinnati defeats Wheeling 5-4. Adirondack over Reading 4-2. Savannah defeats Jacksonville 5-1. Worcester won a 4-0 hockey game against Maine. Obviously in the preseason, Iowa gets a win over Fort Wayne 4-2. Toledo defeats Kalamazoo 5-4. One other game in progress, late third period. Wichita leads Tulsa 3-2. Well, fans are dancing to YMCA and having a good time here. First intermission. And for the Grizzlies, we mentioned the forwards that are in there, and really the first period offensively for Utah was dominated by that forward line of Mick Messner, Luke Manning, and Aaron Aragon. All 3 of those guys are poised to have big seasons, and I've been mentioning even before Aragon scored the goal that he was certainly a standout in practice all week. He looks like he's faster, maybe a little bit stronger this season. Looks like he's going to have a pretty good campaign. And Mick Messner, he was a workhorse for the Grizzlies, appearing in all 72 games last season. Looks like he's going to have a strong year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the potential of Luke Manning. And this is his first full season as a pro. I imagine Manning is poised to have a 20-plus goal-scoring season, and he's a pretty good passer as well. And those 3 guys all have good speed, and they really were electric in the first period. The guys who aren't playing, though, we had mentioned Dylan Fitz, who scored some big goals for the Grizzlies last year. Fitz is the one veteran. He's got the veteran distinction. 31 years old, he'll be 32 in late November. Fitz has played in over 260 pro games, so he is listed as a veteran, and he's certainly going to be a team leader for the Grizzlies. And as mentioned last year, he did score some big goals. Keaton Mastrodonato, Steelhead fans know about him as he scored 24 goals for Idaho last year, and in fact, he had 2 goals and 3 assists in 8 games against the Grizzlies last season. He'll be in his second full season as a pro, and he's going to be an exciting player. Grizzlies fans are certainly going to love watching him play. Cade Nilsson suffered an injury in practice earlier this week. Hopefully it's not too serious of an injury, but Nilsson is a guy that's got a ton of potential. He even has played in some international competition as a native of Nottingham, England. And so Cade Nilsson, I know Grizzlies fans are looking forward to seeing him. He's a young one, only 23 years old, and he's going to be a lot of fun. Last year he played at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, where he had a pretty strong season. The 2 defensemen that are not in there for the Grizzlies, and we'll talk about the defensive unit during the second intermission, but Brian Yoon and Derek Dashke are going to be outstanding defensemen. Dashke had 16 goals with Kalamazoo last year, and Yoon spent the second half of last season in the AHL, where he played with Hartford in 18 games. In the first half of the year for the Grizzlies, he led the team in plus-minus with a +11 rating. Other forwards that are new to the Grizzlies, I did see a lot of Briley Wood. He was paired up with Neil Shea and Cole Gallant. One of the things with Shea is he's got a ton of playmaking ability, and he's got good quickness. He sees the ice well. He's a guy that has been well coached, and he's somebody that I imagine if he plays a full season with the Grizzlies, he could put up pretty similar numbers, if not better numbers, than what he did with the Growlers last season, the late Newfoundland Growlers, where in 64 games he had 18 goals and 19 assists. He had a pretty strong college career at Sacred Heart University. His senior year at Sacred Heart in the 2022-23 season, he had 30 points in 37 games. Shea has 7 games of AHL experience, 1 with Toronto last season and 6 with the Chicago Wolves at the end of his college career in 2023. So a lot of new players we're getting used to and getting to know a little bit. I think with Briley Wood, as we see with a lot of first-year pros, he is a first-season pro, only 21 years old, played in the WHL last season with the Wenatchee Wild, where he had 28 goals and 34 assists. I imagine Wood's going to be one of those players, the more we go into the season and the further along into the season, once he gets his feet wet in pro hockey, I imagine Wood is going to be an outstanding pro, but it's going to take a little bit of time, obviously being as young as he is, to get used to the pro game. Idaho's got a ton of firepower, and we saw some of that in the first period with Thomas Caron and obviously Hank Crone. Mark Olver, certainly an interesting story. 36 years old. It's his first experience in the ECHL. Olver actually played in 3 NHL seasons with the Colorado Avalanche from 2010 through 2013. He played in 74 NHL games. He had 10 goals and 12 assists in his NHL time. He's also got 230 games of AHL experience. Interesting trivia question. We'll have trivia questions throughout the season as the Grizzlies celebrate their 30th anniversary. But Mark Olver, his father, John Olver, is a former Idaho Steelheads head coach. In fact, John Olver was the head coach of the Steelheads from 2000 through 2005. Now, the Steelheads' first season in the ECHL was the 2003-04 season. Olver was the coach of the 2004 Kelly Cup champion Idaho Steelheads. The trivia question is, who was the AHL affiliate of the Idaho Steelheads when they won the Kelly Cup back in 2004? We'll give you that answer on the other side as we'll come back and have second period action here at Idaho Central Arena. This has been the Grizzlies Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
At Black Bear Diner, you always get more. More choice. More amazing food. More value. From huge breakfasts to delicious lunches and hearty dinners, Black Bear Diner has more for you. So get more when you want it, the way you want it, and get it today.
Good old-fashioned family food, Black Bear Diner. Black Bear Diner.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to Grizzlies preseason hockey. We'll have the second period here shortly. To answer that trivia question, Mark Olver's father, John Olver, and Mark Olver obviously playing for the Steelheads this season. His father, John Olver, was the head coach of the 2004 Kelly Cup champion Idaho Steelheads. That was Idaho's first season in the ECHL. What was their AHL affiliate's name? The Utah Grizzlies. As the Grizzlies were in the AHL back then from 2001 through 2005. Final score for Madison Square Garden. Clayton Keller on a backhand shot, 4:05 into overtime, gave the Utah Hockey Club a 6-5 victory over the New York Rangers as Utah goes to 3-0 on the season, and the Rangers fall to 1-0-1. Nick Schmaltz got the assist on the Keller game winner as Clayton Keller, the Utah Hockey Club captain, ended the night with 2 goals and 1 assist. And Barrett Hayden also had a big night with 1 goal and 1 assist. We'll skate 4-on-4 for the first minute and 1 second of the second period. Neil Shea will be out there with Cole Gallant. Gallant will take the face-off. Kabori Dunn and James Schur, the 2 defensemen for the Grizzlies. Idaho will have Connor McEachern taking the face-off. He's out there with Ty Pelton-Bice. The 2 defensemen for Idaho are Stanislav Demon and Trevor Zins. 20 minutes are put on the clock here at Idaho Central Arena. Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 14-10. Through 1 period, Luke Manning led Utah with 3 shots. Grizzlies will be skating from right to left as we see it from high top section 202. Utah wins the draw. Sure will shuffle back into the Grizzlies zone to get it to Shea on the right side. Shea will skate towards the left side. He's near the Grizzlies bench, gets around Shuri. He steps over the offensive line, gets taken off the puck by Zins. As Zins loses his helmet from Shea, Zins will skate to the bench. Cudler will replace him. Idaho in the attack zone. Far goal line. Dunn pokes it away. He'll throw it between his legs. Sure in the near corner will hustle after it. But Idaho's Demon will pitch to McEachern on the right side. He'll direct it back towards Demon. He's in the high slot. He'll slide it to Cudler left side. Cudler being shadowed by Gallant. As Cudler gets to Demon, he's in the high slot. He'll skate towards his right. Now Demon stops in the right point. He'll one-hand it, but it's taken away by Shea. Ahead to Gallant, but Cudler gets a stick in the way. Idaho over the attack zone as Thomas Caron tries to get around Kabori Dunn. Dunn goes down. Caron, one of the stronger players in the league. He's on the right side. Late in the 4-on-4, he'll drop it off. All alone, Swetlikoff righty shot. Saved by Barcheski. And it goes off Barcheski's pads all the way into the Steelhead zone. Idaho will have an abbreviated power play. Radzinski will come out of the box and skate towards the bench. Idaho dumps it in to no one in particular. As Barcheski will fire it off the end glass. Puck towards the right side. Deep in the Grizzlies zone. Now out of the box is Aragon. We're skating 5-on-5. Aragon over to Messner. He steps over the line, gets around Cudler towards the far corner as he chases after it. Messner one hands it from one corner to the other. Hartsey fires to Messner. It's cut off by Scholl, and he holds on as he stops play with 18:29 left here in the second. As coming out of the box is Fairbrother. And for Idaho, Mark Olver. As we mentioned the trivia question, Mark Olver, his father was a coach with the Steelheads for 5 seasons. A couple of those years, Idaho was the ECHL affiliate to the AHL's Utah Grizzlies. Draws in his left wing, Steelhead zone. Utah wins it. Cade Jensen, wearing number 23, will fire it off the end boards. Blake Wells chasing after far side, gets it towards Armstrong. Armstrong cut off and loses the puck. Matt Register skates towards the near side. Now he pivots and feeds it to McCollum. McCollum backhands it ahead to Miller at center ice. He couldn't reach it. Dunn over to Armstrong, who has a glance off his stick. Hoffman into the Grizzly zone. He gets hit by Armstrong on a good shoulder check. Register across all alone's Demon left side. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Barcheski. Demon gets it back. He played with Allen a little bit last season. He'll take a left wing lefty shot. Glove saved by Barcheski. And he holds on with 17:55 left in the second. Demon also played with Florida and Fort Wayne last season as he made the rounds in the ECHL, playing with 3 different divisions. Draw is going to be in the left circle of the Grizzlies zone. Jade Miller will take the draw against Max Neal. Neal played in 17 games with the Grizzlies last season. Nick Pastorius, number 42, also on the ice. Pastorius listed at 6'1", and 215 pounds, a native of Toronto, Ontario. Neal kicked out of the circle. Pastorius will take the draw. Jade Miller taking the face-off for Idaho. Miller takes a lot of the big face-offs for the Steelheads, but this time Pastorius wins it. Sure, over towards Curtis Abbott, who gets hit. Abbott sporting a mustache. He sat in front of me on the bus. Sure, over towards Fairbrother. Danced around to the Utah line. Now he gets ahead to Pastorius. Over to Neal, who dumps in and bounced off a Harsh. Now Pastorius, right side shot, saved by Scholl. Rebound goes wide by Abbott on a second chance. Neal tried to center it out in front. It bounced off a Scholl. Jade Miller gets it. He'll push to McCollum. On to Radzinski. Left wing across center ice. 2-on-3. Steelheads enter the zone, but they are offside as looked like the Steelheads got into the zone. McCollum got in before the puck, and holding the puck was Radzinski. 17:24 left in the second. Idaho leads 2-1. Jensen and Dunn wander the ice, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Cade Jensen does this season. It looked like he was off to a promising rookie year before he got injured on November 8th against Wichita. As Utah wins a draw, Kabori Dunn over to Neal Shea at the Utah line. Shea does kind of a half circle, and gets to the left side for Gallant near the Steelheads bench. He gets taken off the puck by Zins. Bice will shovel it ahead. It's taken by Dunn, who skates behind Utah's net. Now will start the attack. As Idaho pokes it away, goes back towards Dunn. Now the Steelheads skate around Utah's net with the puck. They center it to Cron, glanced off at his stick. It goes to the high slot. Demon across to Bice, right side, just outside the circle. Slide it to Demon, who feeds it out in front. It kicks off of Barcheski's left ankle. as Grizzlies will bank it off the boards. 2-on-1. Gallant, right side. Skates towards the right circle. Centers the Shea. Shot goes wide as Gallant was able to get the pass through, but Shea didn't have much of a shooting angle. Crone into the attack zone. Gets it past Bice on a centering feed. Thomas Caron, left side, trying to center to bounce off of Kyle Powell's stick. Powell, the big 6'6 defenseman for the Grizzlies. Kudla dumps it in. 3.5 minutes into the second period. Powell has the puck. And so far, a home run pass to Messner at the Idaho line. Messner gets tripped up by Kudla, no call. Idaho back up with it. Steelheads drop it over towards Olver. Will take a lefty shot. Saved by Barcheski. And he holds on with 16-16 left in the second. Well, even though he's 36 years old, Mark Over, he's got a pretty lethal shot. That was just an innocent-looking wrist shot that had a lot of velocity on it. Draws game in the left side of the Grizzlies zone. Over will take the draw for Idaho, and Luke Manning will take it for Utah. Still heads up to 18 shots. Grizzlies 13 here as Idaho leads 2-1. Nobody has scored here so far in the second period. Puck towards the near side as White delivers a hip check on Shearer. Puck goes up top to Register, right side. Fires towards the net. Kicks off a Manning skate. Fairbrother around Utah's net. As he'll feed it back to Shearer. Shearer behind Barcheski. As Shearer gets double-teamed, he'll backhand it ahead to Aragon, far side. Glanced off of his stick out to center ice. Idaho regathers. Register deep in his own zone. Messner closing the gap. Messner delivers a good hip check on Register as the puck glides along the far wing boards all the way down. And icing is on the Steelheads with 15:44 left in the second. So we've had quite a few whistles here in the first 4 minutes and 16 seconds of the second period. All season long, the Grizzlies will be celebrating their 30th season of professional hockey in the Salt Lake Valley. 6 days till the regular season opener, and that's going to be played here at Idaho Central Arena. Grizzlies home opener will be on November 1st. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. Draw taken and won by Tyson Upper. Sure, left point, lefty shot is blocked by Kudla as Armstrong gets the puck. He'll get it back up top to Shearer, who slides it towards the near circle. It's taken away by Kudla, who flubs, trying to clear it out. It stays in. Shearer will tattoo it off the near boards. Scholl behind his net, throws to the right side. Wells fires towards the net, and it goes wide. Shearer in the left point. Around the wall, Tyson Upper has to go towards Wells in the far corner. Wells, soft pass towards the points, picked off by Idaho, clear it out. Chasing after it is Craig Armstrong. He's a shifty guy, 5'9". He's got a ton of speed. He'll lay it for Shearer behind Utah's net. Shearer with an A on his sweater. As he'll throw it towards the far side for Dunn. Cross-ice pass connects to Upper. Upper into the zone. Lays it for Armstrong, left side. Armstrong with good speed. Lefty shot, saved by Scholl. Armstrong got the rebound, trying to get to Dunn. Idaho picked it off. Svetlikov up to center ice, one hands it ahead to Kanadi. Kanadi enters the attack zone. Centering pass taken away by Armstrong. Grizzlies come back the other way. Max Neal, left side, steps over the line. Toe drag, left point, lefty shot, saved by Scholl. And he holds on, and after the whistle, Max Neal and Reese Harsh with a strong disagreement over in the far corner as both guys pushed each other after the whistle. Neal cease and desist. Harsh is surrounded by two linesmen and Kyle Powell. Powell kind of giving Harsh that look of, I'm 6'6", 225. You want to mess with me? And Harsh, who goes 6'4", 201, is like, yeah, whatever. Harsh has quite a bit of experience in this league with Cincinnati, Jacksonville, and Idaho last season. He also played in the EIHL with Fife. 14:37 left in the second period. So Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1. Draw's going to come out to neutral ice. Steelheads territory, far circle. In fact, the dots, the face-off dots, are Pepsi logos. Grizzlies hockey brought to you by Coca-Cola all season long. As a draw taken by Svetlikov, and he wins it against Max Neal. Steelheads, Nick Kanadi acting as a forward tonight, normally a defenseman. Right wing pass goes tape to C.J. Walker. Walker on the near side gets up top to Register. Register fumbles it, gets it over to Walker. Walker slides it along the boards. Nick Kanadi over in the far corner accepts it. It goes past him. Walker glides over there. He'll backhand it. Svetlikov behind Utah's net, being shadowed by Powell. Svetlikov taps it off the near boards to Register, keeps it in, and he'll fire it around the wall. Cutler chases after it. So does Pastorius. Pastorius, who played with Iowa and Newfoundland previously in this league, as Kanadi tries to get around Neal. Neal knocks him down. Left point. Puck hippity hops over the stick of McCollum out to center ice. McCollum skates back into his zone, feeds a left wing pass to Kudla. as both teams reshuffle the deck personnel-wise. Cudlett into the zone, trying to get to Hoffman. It's taken away by Shea. Neil Shea is going to be a good one this season for the Grizzlies. Pass ahead, picked off by McCollum. Shea pokes it away. McCollum in the attack zone gets it. Left side over to Miller down the middle. Take a lefty shot. He scores. Jade Miller fires the pass Barcheski. And with 13:35 left in the second period, the Steelheads extend the lead. It's now 3-1. Miller scored 6 goals in 36 games last season. 2 years ago, he had 16 goals in 68 games. As Miller was just down the middle, didn't get a high, didn't get low, just somehow got through Barcheski. As McCollum got it to Miller down the middle, Miller was kind of sliding towards his right, still in the slot, and got it past Barcheski. That's one Barcheski would like to have back as Idaho extends the lead as 3-1. Steelheads win the draw. They dump it into the Grizzlies zone. Utah skating from right to left here in the second period is Sure will bank it off the far glass. Goes to Briley Wood, who fanned on a pass towards Gallant. Gallant eventually gets it, drops it for Shea. Shea centers it out in front. Nobody home except for Trevor Zins. Problem plays for the Steelheads. Demon over to the far corner. Will push it ahead to Hoffman. Hoffman extends the stick and gets it towards Miller. Miller, fresh off a goal 3-on-2, gets into the zone. McCollum trying to center it to Zins. It's taken away by Shea. Shea gets pushed by McCollum. Miller backhands it up top. Demon across to Zins. He's in the high slot. Take a righty shot. It's blocked by Gallant, who's got an A on his sweater. As right side Miller with a shot, and it's blocked away. Shearer, Fairbrother, and Gallant. All three guys have A's on their sweaters, and all three are on the ice now. Hank Crone at center ice. He's near the Grizzlies bench. He battles with Messner. Crone throws it to Zins in the Steelhead zone over to Demon. Long range pass, blue line to blue line connects. Karan over to Crone. He's down the middle. Crone backhand. Trying to backhand it towards Karan. That's poked away by Barcheski. Grizzlies come back the other way. Manning left side. One hands it in towards the near corners. He gets spun around by Harsh. Karan strong with the puck. Back towards Harsh. Now to the near side as Bice tries to locate it. Messner took it away. Messner behind Idaho's net. Gets it poked away by Rodzinski. Near goal line. Harsh will bank it off the near boards. Goes to Crone. Crone at center ice. Cross the center. Gets towards Harsh. He left wings to Karan. Karan left side. Shot goes wide on a low liner. As Grizzlies in their own zone have it. Jensen about 5 feet in front of Barcheski. Will tattoo it off the far boards. It goes back to Idaho. Crone enters the attack zone. Left goal line. Skates around the net. Feeds it out in front. Shot saved by Barcheski. And he holds on as Hank Crone, boy, sly as a fox, skated around Utah's net. Just slid it out in front. Idaho had a good look, but Barcheski made the save. 11:44 left in the second period. Steelheads have a 3-1 lead. We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Audio Network.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm. And our lights on. It's the power behind the team. And a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
11:44 left in the second period. If you joined us late, the Grizzlies took a 1-0 lead, 7:30 into the first period as Aaron Aragon scored with Messner and Manning getting the assists. 2 centering passes by Hank Crone led to Steelheads goals as Crone found Ty Pelton-Bice on Idaho's power play 9-10 into the first. And then Crone from the left corner centered it to Thomas Karan, who scored 12:37 in. Idaho had a 2-1 lead after one period. Jade Miller scored from the slot, 6:25 into the second, with Lyndon McCollum getting the assist. And McCollum right now has the only assist on the Miller goal, 6:25 into the second. Steelheads have 22 shots, Grizzlies 15. Idaho has outshot Utah 9-5 here in the second period. As Utah wins the draw, they skate from right to left. Grizzlies back deep in their own zone as Kabori Dunn will bank it off the near glass. Register gets it neutralized. They'll push it across to Kudla. As Kudla to McEachern, who dumps it in. Puck towards the right side, A.J. White, 6 years as the Steelheads captain. He's got a lot of team records. He'll throw it towards the net slowly. It's picked off, and shoveling it out of the zone is Cade Jensen. Kudla center ice, ahead to McEachern, who steps over the line. Left point, lefty shot goes wide as he missed the net glove side on Barcheski. Register right side will drop it for McCollum. McEachern over towards White. White across it, glanced off the stick, and it flies out to center ice. Register gets it. He's back at the Idaho line. Both teams spread the ice as Register surveys. Now he button hooks towards the near circle of the Steelhead zone. He'll push it across to Kudla. Pass goes tape to tape. Head to Swetlikoff. He'll drop it for McEachern. McEachern, the former Wichita Thunder skater. Left wing, lefty shot. Saved by Barcheski. It glanced off his glove. Whistle blows. Hooking is going to be the call. As after the shot was taken from the left side, there was a lot of traffic out in front. It's going to be on Utah as Nick Pastorius gets 2 minutes for hooking as he looks up at the center ice video board to try to get a replay. As Pastorius was in the zone, they show a replay, and Pastorius knocks down the Steelhead as the Steelhead was looking for a rebound on the shot that was taken from the left side by McEachern. So Pastorius, sporting a mustache, shakes his head back and forth. 10 minutes and 39 seconds left in the second period. Idaho leads 3-1. Draw one by the Grizzlies. As Fairbrother will bounce up a Steelhead stick. Puck still in the attack zone as Thomas Caron, right side, gets the Bice to the near goal line. Bice dangles, now gets towards Caron, who feeds up top to Kudlow, directs it over to Caron, over to Crone. Now to the left side, McCollum, righty shot, saved by Barcheski on a one-timer. Bice tries to get the bouncing puck, throws it to Caron, who gets pushed to the boards by Messner. Crone across towards McCollum, who taps it off the far boards. Kudlow over towards Crone. He fumbles it off his stick, but is able to keep it in. No, says the linesman. Offside with the Steelheads as Crone had the puck bobble off his stick and out of the zone. Crone tried to re-enter. Offside with the Steelheads with 10:05 left in the second. So we're about halfway through the scheduled 60-minute affair. Grizzlies scored first with Aaron Aragon, 7:30 into the first, and Idaho has responded with 3 unanswered. Swetlikoff will take the draw against Utah's Luke Manning. Manning taking a lot of faceoffs for the Grizzlies. Utah wins the draw. Fairbrother tried to clear it out and it bounced off the Manning. Idaho, Barcheski, as Idaho tries to feed it out in front. White behind the net. Utah took it away. Now Luke Manning flies along the left wing, crosses center ice. Grizzlies shorthanded as Manning over to the right side, dangles, steps over the line, stops. He's being shadowed by McEachern. Starting pass out to Shearer. Shearer looking for a backhand shot, couldn't get it off. Shearer gets it back along the end boards over to Neil Shea in the near corner. He gets double teamed as Shea gets dragged down slowly by Register. Up at the puck is Mark Olver. He skates around his net to the far side. Olver skates down the middle. Long strides. He crosses center ice, steps over the line, veers off to the right point. Mark Olver stops along the near boards, gets up top to Register, over to Olver. The 36-year-old has 10 NHL goals to his resume. Over to Register, back to Olver, right side. Over to Register, he's at the left point. Register fires towards the net, as saved by Barcheski. Rebound goes towards the far wing, as Idaho pokes it towards the backboard. Swetlikoff holds up Dunn, as Cade Jensen gets spun around in the near corner. 20 seconds left in Idaho's power play. Dunn gets the puck, he skates around Utah's net towards the far side, and he'll clear it all the way out. Scholl races to the far corner to stop the puck. 12 seconds left in Pastorius' hooking minor. As Register at his blue line ahead towards Crone. Crone with great speed gets around for Grizzlies. He gets tripped up by Powell. Left wing, Bice with a shot that goes wide. Delayed penalty. Idaho's going to get another power play. Caron over towards Crone. Crone over to the far goal line. Tries to throw it behind his back. It's picked off by Powell. But Hank Crone's speed drew a penalty, and the Steelheads will go back on the power play with 8:29 left in the second. It's Idaho 3, Utah 1, as Kyle Powell gets 2 minutes for tripping, and Idaho will be on the power play when we come back. 8:29 left in the second. Steelheads lead 3-1 on the Grizzlies Audio Network.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. We've got over 350 new Kias to choose from. Savings. Shop over 30 new Kia Seltos models and save up to $2,000 off when you buy. Jerry Seiner has been the area's most trusted automotive source for over 40 years. Little wonder then how we've made thousands of friends to last a lifetime.
At Black Bear Diner, you always get more. More choice. More amazing food. More value. So get more. And get it today.
Black Bear Diner.
8:29 left in the second period. Idaho has 3 unanswered goals as Ty Pelton Bice, Thomas Caron, and Jade Miller have each found the back of the net. Grizzlies penalty kill will go back to work as Kyle Powell, the big 6'6", 225-pound defenseman, gets 2 minutes for tripping as Hank Krone's speed and playmaking ability as he was in the slot of the offensive zone drew the penalty from Powell. Cole Gallant will take the draw against Ty Pelton-Bice. We've seen Gallant and Luke Manning take a lot of the faceoffs for Utah. Ty Pelton-Bice wins it for Idaho as Hank Krone gets it in the right point. Krone dangles, throws it towards Caron, and make that Bice. Bice up top for Kudla. Kudla over to Krone. He's in the left circle. Krone dangles, gets it back up top to Register. Over to Caron, back towards Kudla, who wasn't expecting the pass back from him as the puck is laying at the Utah line. Idaho keeps it in. Caron, right side, dangles, gets it towards Krone, who spins the puck back and forth with his stick over to Caron. Caron, right side, centering pass out in front goes wide as he was looking for a redirection from Bice. Puck goes out to the Idaho line, chasing after its Kudla. Grizzlies will sneak in some new skaters as Idaho back in neutral ice. McCollum, left wing pass out to center ice to Krone. Krone dangles. He was the MVP 2 years ago. He's lethal on the power play over to Bice, back to Krone on the right side. Krone throws it behind his back for Bice, back towards Krone. As Krone behind Utah's net, looking for the Michigan, and he gets cut off by Fairbrother as Krone was looking to make Sports Center tonight. As Max Neal took it away from Kudla and fed it back to the center ice line. As Krone throws to the far side, Fairbrother will backhand it in. Scholl couldn't play it in the restricted area, so he lets Krone play it and drop it off for Register. Register out to Hoffman at neutral ice, drops it for Krone. Krone over the line. As he's on the right side, trying to drop it, but the only guy there was Luke Manning. Problem plays for the Grizzlies as Manning clears it out all the way. Scholl plays it behind his net, as he'll drop it for Register. Gets back checked by Aragon. Aragon took it away. He'll throw it to Manning down the middle. Manning with a lefty shot. Glove saved by Scholl. And he holds on as the whistle blows. What a great hustle play by Aaron Aragon as he just out-hustled Matt Register for the puck, and then Manning was cutting down the middle. Aragon's pass to Manning went tape to tape, and Manning had a grade A chance. But Thomas Scholl robbed him with a glove save. Boy, the Grizzlies players in particular who have impressed. Manning, Aragon, Messner, that forward line is going to be outstanding this season. Idaho wins the draw. They skate from left to right. 15 seconds left in their power play. McEachern over the line as he's now on the right side. He stops and he'll spin it around the boards. White behind Utah's net gets the puck. He'll throw it towards Hoffman. Back to White. He's in the right corner. He gets up top to Register late in the power play. High slot lefty shot. Saved by Barcheski. And he absorbs it around the Grizzlies logo on his chest and holds on as Powell is out of the penalty box. Good penalty kill by the Grizzlies. And in fact, Utah might have had the best chance as Manning had that look shorthanded and he was robbed by Scholl. 6 minutes and 28 seconds left in the second period. But for saying it's a preseason game, both teams really executed pretty well. Cole Gallant will take the draw against Mark Olver. Nobody's wearing the captain C tonight, but the three guys wearing the A's are Gallant, Shearer, and Fairbrother. Those are going to be big team leaders, as well as Dylan Fitz on this season's club. Grizzlies have it as Powell spins it to Neil Shea as he gets double-teamed in the Grizzlies zone along the near side. Grizzlies will bounce to center ice out the Idaho line. Briley Wood gets it towards Gallant, who drops it for Shea. Pass behind him as White was on the back check, and he pushed Shea from behind. As Radzinski over the line, as Idaho in the attack zone, as Radzinski down the left side, skates towards his right as he dangles the puck back and forth. Radzinski will bounce it off of Shea. Shea gets it as he races with Radzinski. Shea with the puck. Radzinski with a poke check. Shea gets it back. He'll drop it for Wood, who gets triple teamed. Wood on the right side. Loses. Canati throws it to center ice. Jade Miller, 2-on-3, steps over the line. As Miller left side, lefty shot goes high as he tried to go stick side over the right shoulder of Barcheski. Briley Wood one-hands it ahead to Armstrong. Armstrong's got great speed. He gets cut off by Zins as Armstrong gets pushed off the puck into the near corner of the Steelhead zone. Idaho across. Armstrong picks it off. Armstrong left side, lefty shot save. Rebound shot saved by Scholl again. As Armstrong had the first look, upper in front of the net, had the second chance. Idaho up with it. Miller left wing, and so get it to Demon. Demon over the line, left side, lefty shot saved by Barcheski, who holds on around chest high as play is stopped with 5:12 left in the second. It's the Steelheads 3 and the Grizzlies 1. Idaho has outshot Utah 29-17. This is the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? selection. Shop over 50 new Kia Sorentos with savings up to $4,500 off at Jerry Seiner Kia, South Jordan.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverick, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your adventure.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to americafirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
It's the Steelheads 3 and the Grizzlies 1 as there's 5:12 left in the second period. But despite the 2-goal deficit, the Grizzlies really have played hard. And I think you got to like the effort of a lot of the Grizzlies forwards, especially the speedy ones. Utah wins the draw. They're in their own zone, skating from right to left as we see it from high top section 202. Sure, over towards Armstrong. That was the number that Fairbrother wore last year, the number 3. Fairbrother wearing number 24, old banking off the far board. Still in the Grizzlies zone, as well as ahead to Armstrong at new try. So backhanded to heads, picked off by Cudley, who throws it to Walker. Walker, left point, gets knocked down by Armstrong as Tyson Upper across to Armstrong. He'll feed it to the left wing for Wells. Wells and over the line as he gets around Cudlup. Wells stops at the far goal line. He gets spun around by Cudlup. In the area is Tyson Upper as Wells continues to get held up by Cudlup as the puck lifts behind Idaho's net, coming up with its register as he stops behind Thomas Scholl. As Register surveys, he'll feed it to his left for Cudlup. Cudlup directs it to center ice for Swetlikoff, who one-hands it in. Puck glides towards Barcheski, and with Miller chasing after Barcheski, the Utah netminder will just freeze the puck and hold on with 4:15 left in the second. So Steelheads will have an offensive zone draw. These same teams will meet 6 days from now here at Idaho Central Arena to start the regular season. Going to be a 7-10 face-off. And, hey, if you're a Grizzlies fan, you want to see some Grizzlies hockey live and in person, hey, this is the perfect opportunity 6 days from now here at Idaho Central Arena. Get your tickets because with this building holding about 5,200, they usually sell out here at Idaho Central Arena. Grizzlies win the draw. Jensen lifts it high into the air. It's a long-distance flight, bounces at neutral ice. Reese Harsh will fire it towards the Steelheads bench. It's gathered by Miller, who backhands it in. Kabori Dunn chasing after it. The big 6'2 defenseman who skates well, drops it for Jensen behind Utah's net. Near wing pass towards Abbott, and floats it to center ice. It's gloved and dropped by Pastorius. Pastorius over the line, makes a nice move, backhand shot. And a stick save by Scholl. As Dunn gets it towards Pastorius on the far side. As Radzinski delivers a strong hit on Pastorius behind Idaho's net. Pastorius got a stick held up by McCollum. Radzinski gets blasted by Pastorius. Dunn across to Jensen left point. Jensen fakes a lefty shot, skates towards the corner, and he'll fire it off the end boards. Puck goes slowly towards the far corner as Dunn gets pushed by Hoffman. As Dunn will fire it back to the opposite corner near side. As the puck goes towards the Grizzlies, Luke Manning. Manning wearing number 16 loses balance, but at the same time fires a pass towards the far corner. As Idaho, Reese Harsh gets hit by Messner. As Hartje over to Manning behind Idaho's net. As Manning gets around Radzinski towards the far side, he'll tattoo it off the far boards for Powell. Powell spins along the wall. Hartje shuffles over to the near corner to get it. Chase Hartje, the Bemidji native, he's on the right side. He'll skate towards the high slot. He skates towards his left. Hartje gets it towards the middle for Manning. He'll take a shot that goes wide. Actually, it was Aragon. Manning was in the area. Aragon took the shot, missed wide. Aragon now gets up top to Messner. He's at the right point. Back towards Aragon. Right circle. Aragon dangles with the puck. He gets pushed by Harsh. He avoids a check. Messner over to Manning around the net looking for the wraparound. Now he comes back to the far side, feeds it to Messner. He feeds it up top as Fairbrother skates towards the high slot, skates towards his left. He'll take a lefty shot and misses high. Messner chases after it as the puck goes to the Utah line. Steelheads will sneak in a line change. Grizzlies on the attack. Messner over to Manning. Grizzlies enter the zone. Aragon over towards Manning. Shot! And it's blocked away. Penalty is going to be called as Demon was grabbing Messner like a cheap suit. And once again, it's that forward line creating a scoring chance. And in this situation, creating a power play. Manning, Messner, and Aragon are all over the place. Great hustle by Messner. He got to the puck at the Utah line. The Steelheads tried to sneak in a line change. Grizzlies very smartly kept the attack going. And it was that three-man forward unit that created a good scoring chance with Messner getting a centering pass down the middle, and Demon did what he had to do, and he drug down Messner to make sure he couldn't get a grade A scoring chance. So it's a power play for the Grizzlies as Demon goes to the box. 2:13 left in the second period. Utah wins the draw. It's Idaho leading 3-1. It's Fairbrother left point as he dangles with the puck. Now he throws it towards the right side. Idaho gets a stick in the way. Neil Shea trying to get it towards Gallant. Shea now gets to Aragon, who gets hit by Register. As Cutler throws it to the near corner, Mark Olver gets it for Idaho, and Over will fly it out towards Barcheski, as Barcheski will kick it towards the end boards. Fairbrother glides slowly towards it as Idaho sneaks in a line change. Fairbrother banks it off the far boards as it goes towards Gallant. Gallant, the speedy one over to Shea left wing. Shea over the line, drops it for Aragon. As Aragon couldn't reach it, puck glides along the far boards. Briley Wood tried to one-handed ahead as Idaho pokes it. As it still heads at the Utah line, get it ahead, C.J. Walker. Walker on the right side. Steps over the line. Walker now in the right circle. Take a righty shot. Saved by Barcheski. And he holds on with the whistle blowing quickly. 1:12 left in the Grizzlies power plays. Idaho will have an offensive zone draw. Steelheads lead 3-1 with 1:25 left in the second. And Briley Wood, 6'3", goes to the bench. 21 years old. He's going to be a good one, but as with a lot of first-year pros, it might take some time to get adjusted to the pro game. Draws in the Grizzlies zone right circle. Grizzlies skate from right to left as we see it here in the second period. As Manning wins the faceoff, Kabori Dunn will skate along the near wing. Dunn will drop it off to Messner. Messner had 15 goals last season, including 3 shorthanded ahead to Manning in the right wing. Manning over the line, drops it for Armstrong. Armstrong over to Manning. He's at the far goal line. Manning surveys. He looks over his right shoulder, feeds across to Messner. Back to Manning. Over to Kabori Dunn. Back to Messner. Make that Manning. Manning now to Wells. Back to Manning. He's on the right side across to Messner. Messner dangles, gets it to Dunn. Dunn shuffles towards his right. Now he's at the right point and fires it towards the left corner. As Armstrong skates over there, he gets the stick held up by Zins. 44 seconds left in the period. Wells gets hit by Harsh. Harsh battles with him as Armstrong skates over there. Now Armstrong battles with Zins. Messner skates in as Messner now on the near side spins along the boards to Manning. Luke Manning gets it poked away by Zins. Skating over there is Wells across to Messner. Messner trying to kick it back across. It bounced off to Svetlikov. Stick on to Zins, who clears it out. 20 seconds left in the second period and 5 seconds left in the power play. Done with the home run pass. It connects to Neil Shea. Shea along the left wing. Centers over to Wood. He'll take a shot. Kick save by Scholl. As Briley Wood had a good shot right as the power play was coming to an end. 5 seconds left. The Steelheads will throw a long-range pass out the center ice to Demon. It gets poked towards Barcheski, and time runs out in the second period. Now, the Grizzlies have had some good looks, but they have been robbed mightily here in the second period by Thomas Scholl. Score was 2-1 Steelheads after 20 minutes, and Idaho scored the lone goal in the second period as Jade Miller scored about 6.5 minutes in. We'll come back and recap the first 2 periods. We'll also go over some NHL and ECHL scores, and we'll talk about both teams' defensive units, as the Grizzlies do have a promising blue line coming up this season, and Idaho obviously has one of the best defensive pairings in the league with Matt Register and Patrick Kudla. We'll come back and talk some hockey on the other side as we're through 2 periods here at Idaho Central Arena, and the score is the Idaho Steelheads 3 and the Utah Grizzlies 1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. We've got over 350 new Kias to choose from. Savings. Shop over 40 new Kia Sportage models and save up to $2,500 off when you buy. Jerry Seiner has been the area's most trusted automotive source for over 40 years. Little wonder then how we've made thousands of friends to last a lifetime. Jerry Seiner Kia, South Jordan.
Smith's always always gives you more ways to save on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Smiths app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. With a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Discover more ways to save big every day. Smith's, fresh.
We're through 2 periods here at Idaho Central Arena, and the Steelheads lead 3-1. We'll skate 5-on-5 to start the 3rd period. Grizzlies did get on the board first as Aaron Aragon tallied his first of the preseason. Mick Messner and Luke Manning picked up the assists. Really, that's been the best forward line for the Grizzlies. They brought a lot of scoring chances and a lot of excitement through 2 periods. Aaron Aragon, Mick Messner, and Luke Manning look like they're primed to have strong seasons. Aragon got Utah on the board 7:30 into the 1st period. Aragon picked up a hooking minor 8:19 into the 1st, and about halfway through Idaho's first power play of the game, Hank Crone was over in the right corner. He centered it to Ty Pelton-Bice, who put it away. Bice had 17 goals last year. Crone, who won the league's MVP award in the 2022-23 season, picked up the main assist. Thomas Caron also with the helper for the Steelheads. About 3.5 minutes later, 12:37 into the 1st, Crone was over in the left corner. He found Thomas Caron cutting towards the net. Crone to Caron to the back of the net, and Idaho took a 2-1 lead. Reese Harsh also picked up an assist. As the Steelheads took a 2-1 lead, that's where it stood after 1 period. Idaho outshot Utah 14-10 in the 1st period. In the 2nd frame, the Steelheads had a 15-11 shot advantage. The only goal scored was by Jade Miller, who scored from the slot. Didn't get it high, didn't get low, just somehow got through Barczewski, as Miller scored 6:25 into the 2nd to give Idaho a 3-1 lead. Lyndon McCollum picked up an assist on the Miller goal. Utah was 0 for 2 on the power play. Idaho 1 for 4, but late in the 2nd period, the Grizzlies had it was probably halfway through the 2nd period. Grizzlies were shorthanded back-to-back times as Pastorius had a hooking minor 9:21 into the 2nd period. Grizzlies killed off that penalty, and then 10 seconds after Pastorius came out of the box, Kyle Powell got a tripping minor as Hank Crone's speed just kind of made the difference there, and Powell tripped him up, and the referee spotted it, and the Grizzlies had to kill off that penalty as well. Stanislav Demon for Idaho got a slashing minor 17:47 into the 2nd, so the Grizzlies had a power play late in the 2nd period. They had some good looks. Thomas Scholl, the Idaho goaltender, has looked every bit as strong as he did in his first stint as a Steelhead. And if he's what he was in the 2019-2020 season, boy, the Steelheads just got that much tougher as a unit. Remember, Idaho, a couple of years ago when they broke a lot of league records, they had about a team save percentage of .930. Well, last year, the Steelheads kind of struggled in net. Idaho last season had a team save percentage of exactly .900. Which was a drop-off from the previous season. Well, if Scholl plays anywhere between 40 and 50 games for the Steelheads and produces the way he did in his first stint as a Steelhead, where in 99 games, or 91 games of the Steelheads. He played 8 games with Adirondack in the 2017-2018 season. In 91 games as a Steelhead, Scholl had 12 shutouts, a 2.07 goals against average, and 920 save percentage. And if he performs anything like that, boy, Steelheads are going to be a tough unit, especially with the firepower they have in the forward lineup with Hank Crone. And if Mark Olver comes and has a good year for them, the 36-year-old, they've got Ty Pelton-Bice and A.J. White are good goal scorers. Thomas Caron plays a strong two-way game. And if Jade Miller stays healthy, it could be a pretty strong Steelheads unit for the 2024-25 season. Really, their defensive unit, it's that one line in particular, which has to be the best in the league. Matt Register maybe getting up there in age. He may be 35 years old, but he's a future Hall of Famer in this league, and he just seems to be an assist machine and in particular on the power play year in and year out. And Patrick Hundley was the best defenseman in the league last season. After all, he won the award for the league's defenseman of the year, where he had 60 points in 60 games, 10 goals, and 50 assists. So, Idaho's a consistent winner year in and year out, and it looks like this season is going to be no different. For the Grizzlies, they are sitting some of their big guns. We had mentioned Keaton Mastrodonato is going to be a star this season. He's out. Cade Nilsson battling an injury. Dylan Fitz, obviously the 31-year-old. He'll probably play tomorrow, but he's out of the lineup here this evening. Earlier this week, Mark Sendon, who was sent to the Grizzlies from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. Sendon yesterday was sent back to Colorado. And two key defensemen are not in the lineup for the Grizzlies tonight. Brian Yoon, who led the Grizzlies in plus-minus last season, he just got better and better in his time with Utah. He spent the second half of last season in the American Hockey League. And Derek Daschke, who had 16 goals with Kalamazoo last year. We'll talk about Daschke a little bit more tomorrow if he's in the lineup. But even if he's not in there tomorrow, Daschke, who played in all 72 games with Kalamazoo last season, and at 38 points, he was key on their power play. And it looks like he's going to be an outstanding player. He played his college hockey at Miami of Ohio, and he had 24 goals in his college career to go along with 61 assists. And college defensemen, you don't normally see them score a ton of goals. Daschke also played at the University of Minnesota Duluth, which is an elite college program, and he had 16 points in 37 games for them in the 2022-23 season. Daschke's got good size, got good playmaking ability, he handles the puck well, and from what I saw in practice, he's got a lethal shot. So watch out for Derek Daschke, who will be wearing number 5 for the Grizzlies, and this is his second full season as a pro. He's 26 years old, 6'2", 194 pounds. So the Grizzlies are going to have a strong defensive unit. Fairbrother and Sure are going to be a strong defensive pairing. Fairbrother is one of those guys who's got a ton of talent. The trouble with him the last couple of years was injuries. We saw what James Sure did in 80 previous games with the Grizzlies over a 2-year stretch. I imagine Sure is going to have that sort of impact and leadership. He's going to add leadership, and he's really going to be a dependable defenseman, probably going to score 6 or 7 goals like he did 2 years ago, and just be that defenseman that does a lot of the things, a lot of the dirty work that you don't necessarily see on the stat sheet. And I've also been impressed tonight with Cade Jensen and Kabori Dunn. Jensen played in 4 games last year, and Dunn, a newcomer to the club. I think there's a lot of potential there with the Grizzlies' blue line, especially if all those guys find a way to stay healthy all season. That's really the big question. If they can find a way to stay healthy, I think it's going to be a strong defensive unit for the Grizzlies in the upcoming season. When we come back to the Utah Grizzlies intermission report, we will go over some NHL and ECHL scores. Through 2 periods here at Idaho Central Arena, it's the Steelheads 3 and the Grizzlies 1. This is the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
At Black Bear Diner, you always get more. More choice, more amazing food, more value, from huge breakfasts to delicious lunches and hearty dinners. Black Bear Diner has more for you. So get more when you want it, the way you want it, and get it today.
Good old-fashioned family food, Black Bear Diner. Black Bear Diner.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Welcome back to Idaho Central Arena. Second intermission. Idaho leads Utah 3-1. Now the Utah Hockey Club won a thriller 6-5 in overtime as Clayton Keller got the overtime game winner 4:07 into the extra session. Actually, it was 4:05 into the extra session. Nick Schmaltz got the assist there. Keller ended the night with 2 goals and 1 assist. Barrett Hayton had 1 goal and 1 assist for Utah. Terry Panarin had 2 goals for the Rangers as the Utah Hockey Club goes to 3-0 in their first season of existence. The New York Rangers did pick up a standing point. Their record is now 1-0-1. Utah next plays on Monday afternoon. That's right on the holiday. The Utah Hockey Club continues their road trip against the New Jersey Devils. Other action in the NHL. Games are in progress right now. Seattle and Minnesota go to a shootout as both teams get a standing point there. That game will go to a shootout. We'll give you a score update there later on. Colorado, the Grizzlies NHL affiliate, is having a tough time in net as Columbus leads Colorado 5-3. That game after 2 periods as Georgiev allowed 3 goals on 9 shots. He was pulled. Justice Annunen is in net, and he is 4 of 6 for the Avalanche. As Wood, McKinnon, and Middlestad have the Avalanche goals, but Colorado trails Columbus 5-3 after 2 periods. Late first period, Calgary leads Philadelphia 2-0. After 1 period, Chicago leads Edmonton 1-0. As the Blackhawks goal was scored by Kurashev. Kurashev with a goal. Connor Bedard has about 7 minutes of ice time through 1 period, and he's left off the scoring sheet. First intermission, no score between the Ducks and Sharks. Looks like Seattle has won and over in the shootout. Seattle did get the extra point. They ended up defeating the Minnesota Wild 5-4. Games have gone final in the NHL. Boston defeats LA in the overtime 2-1. Buffalo over the defending champion Florida Panthers 5-2. Toronto defeats Pittsburgh 4-2. Montreal is a 4-1 winner over Ottawa. Detroit shuts out Nashville 3-0. New Jersey gets a 5-3 win over Washington. New Jersey's now 3-1 this season. As we mentioned before, the Devils will face the Utah Hockey Club on Monday afternoon. Dallas shuts out the New York Islanders 3-0. So that's the NHL scores. I guess when you see the Utah Hockey Club playing in Madison Square Garden and playing an original 6 team like the New York Rangers, it becomes real. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a minute. This really is the big time. And what a week of pro hockey we have had in the Salt Lake Valley. A week that I don't think anybody's ever going to forget. Utah obviously opening up with a sellout crowd and a 5-2 victory at Delta Center over the Chicago Blackhawks. And now back-to-back road wins in overtime as they defeated the Islanders on a goal by Dylan Gunther. And tonight it was the captain, Clayton Keller, who comes away victorious. Madison Square Garden just happens to be my number 1 non-baseball bucket list item. Boy, wouldn't that be fun to call a game from that building, especially this season with Sam Rosen, the longtime New York Rangers TV play-by-play announcer, announcing his retirement at the end of the season. So Sam Rosen is last year. Boy, wouldn't that be fun to go up and talk to Sam Rosen and congratulate him on a nice career. Hopefully I'll be over there when the New York Rangers come to the Salt Lake Valley and be able to congratulate Sam Rosen in person. But then again, we're here in Boise. We're having a good time. The one sad thing, though, is Cam McGuire is not in town, the 3-time league award winner. I was hoping to be able to see him, and I know that seeing him warms my heart every time, but I guess we'll have to see him next week when the Grizzlies are here 6 days from now for opening night. But we are having fun here in Boise on this Saturday evening. If you're a BYU football fan, you're having a good evening as BYU goes to 6-0 this season. That's right, the 14th-ranked Cougars defeat Arizona 41-19. And that comes a day after the Utah Utes lose 27-19 to the Arizona State Sun Devils. So BYU is now bowl eligible, and who knows if they're able to play defensively the way they have in the first 6 games of the regular season. Hey, BYU fans should be pretty excited about the prospects for the second half of the year. We're hanging out at Idaho Central Arena as the Steelheads have a 3-1 lead. Idaho is playing a ton of their regulars. We probably aren't going to see the likes of A.J. White, Matt Register. Probably won't see Mark Olver, the 36-year-old, tomorrow. For the Grizzlies, we may see a few more of the regulars as Utah tonight is without Keaton Mastro-Donato as well as Dylan Fitz and Cade Nelson, who's battling an injury. And, as we mentioned previously during the intermission, Brian Yoon and Derek Dashke, who might be 2 of Utah's top defensemen this upcoming season. Jake Barczewski has been solid to net for the Grizzlies. He has saved 26 of 29. Thomas Scholl, the Idaho goaltender, continues to be public enemy number 1 among Grizzlies fans' eyes as he has saved 20 of 21. When we come back, we'll have third period action here from Idaho as it's the first of 2 games this weekend. Don't forget, the Grizzlies and Steelheads will be in Idaho Falls tomorrow afternoon. Coverage begins at 2:50. Face-off around 3:05 or 3:10, somewhere around that point at Mountain America Center. We'll come back and have the third period on the other side. This has been the Utah Grizzlies Intermission Report on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
This isn't just copper. It's our job. It's food on our family's tables. Without it, we couldn't stay in touch. It's what keeps our homes warm and our lights on. It's the power behind the team and a greener, brighter future. This isn't just copper. It's a proud Utah and a strong America.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. We've got over 350 new Kias to choose from. Savings. Shop over 30 new Kia Seltos models and save up to $2,000 off when you buy. Jerry Seiner has been the area's most trusted automotive source for over 40 years. Little wonder then how we've made thousands of friends to last a lifetime. Jerry Seiner Kia, Salt Lake.
Now we're having a good time here in Boise as we're starting the third period out. Looks like the same goaltenders are going to be in net for both teams. As Thomas Scholl's been outstanding for the Steelheads, stopping 20 of 21. Jake Barczewski, the first-year pro, he has saved 26 of 29. Looks like the Grizzlies will start the third period with Cole Gallant, along with Neil Shea and Briley Wood. Boy, Shea's been a standout for the Grizzlies here tonight. He's got a ton of speed, and I got to imagine he's going to have a similar year as to what he had with the Newfoundland Growlers last year, where he had 18 goals and 19 assists. Starting defensive pairing for the third period is James Shearer and Gianni Fairbrother. Idaho will start the third period with the same five that started the game. That's Hank Crone, Ty Pelton-Bice, and Thomas Caron. Bice will take the face-off, and for my money, the best defensive pairing in the league. Last year's League Defenseman of the Year, Patrick Cudla, paired up with the future Hall of Famer, Matt Register. Referee tonight is John Lindner. The linesmen are Dominic Valentine and Eric Landquist. Valentine drops the puck, and we've begun play here in the third period as Patrick Cudla will bounce it off of Briley Wood. Register, long-range pass, fires it off the far board, center ice. As Crone over to Bice, who skates down the middle. He steps over the line, left side, trying to get to Caron, who couldn't extend the stick far enough. Caron around to the far side, delivers a hit on Shea. Thomas Caron, who played for Norfolk last year, gets to Crone. Crone on the right side, slides it across the Register left point. Register surveys, now he'll float it to the right corner as Caron gets hit by Shearer. Shearer wearing number 74. He'll clear it out to center as Gallant gets it 3-on-2. Gallant centers over towards Briley Wood. Backhand shot goes wide. Penalty on the Steelheads as Matt Register gets a holding penalty. I believe it's going to be Register as he's going to shuffle to the penalty box as Gallant got behind Register, and Register just did what he had to do to try to deny an odd man rush by the Grizzlies. So the speed of that forward unit of Shea, Gallant, and Wood draw a penalty here early in the third period. 19-18 left in the third, as the Grizzlies will be on the power play for the fifth time tonight. Pick Messner will take the draw. He's out there with Armstrong. As Utah wins the faceoff, Kabori Dunn, he's in the high slot, shoulder fake. Now gets to Messner left wing. Messner fakes a shot. Now he takes one that's blocked away. Trevor Zins will clear it out. Goes to center ice. It taps off a Dunn stick, who will get it in the Grizzly zone. Utah skating from left to right here in the third period. Dunn over to Manning right side. Manning wings it around the wall. It's Trevor Zins. He's over in the far corner, gets double teamed. Wells in the area as Messner tries to hack it away from a scrum. As Wells and Zinn continue to hold each other up. Armstrong in the area, battling with Demon as the puck flies to the near corner. Manning over there. As Luke Manning gets double teamed, he'll pitch it up top to Dunn, who extends the stick. Tried to keep it in, but didn't. As actually the linesman said he did. Crowd voices their displeasure. Manning on the right side. He's in the attack zone as he'll get it across. Messner left side fires lefty shot that goes wide. Puck bounced off the boards and off a Scholl stick. And the Steelheads clear it out. It got redirected by a Utah stick, so no delay of game as the puck ended up in the Utah penalty box. 1:05 left in the Grizzlies power play as they showed Dunn over to the line. And it did look like the puck exited the zone as the Idaho fans were very upset. All the referees in attendance in the red seats thought that the puck exited the zone, and they were right, but the Grizzlies were able to get some offensive zone time after that. Grizzlies change things up at the whistle. Gallant's out there with Aragon and Briley Wood. Up top is Neil Shea and Johnny Fairbrother. Idaho wins the face-off, and Rodzinski spins along the boards on the near side. It goes all the way deep in the Grizzly zone. Barczewski plays it behind his net. He'll lay it for Fairbrother, who skates down the middle. Fairbrother veers off to the left. He looks over his right shoulder. A pitch it back to Shea. Shea dances around as he'll drop it for Gallant. Gallant gets the new Trice. Left wing crosses center. We'll get it to Aragon. A glance off of his stick. McCollum will clear it back out. Idaho chasing after it. Jade Miller gets it. Far side. He'll take a lefty shot. Saved by Barczewski. And he'll pitch it to Wood. As Wood skates around the net. 30 seconds left in the power play over to Fairbrother. Right wing pass to Gallant connects as he directs it to Shea. Shea in the left wing steps over the line. Skates towards the far goal line, and he wraps it around the boards to Gallant. Gallant skates towards the near corner, meets Shea, and hands him the puck. As Shea gets up top to Fairbrother on the right side. Fairbrother fires towards. They gets redirected and a score! Grizzlies get a power play goal with 17:27 left in the third. He got redirected, and it looks like Cole Gallant says he got it. As Gallant skates to the bench first to high-five everybody. As Fairbrother just fired towards the net. There was a lot of traffic out in front. As looked like it bounced off the Gallant's stick and just trickled past Scholl's left ankle and past the goal line. Aragon was out net front. Aragon didn't get a piece of it, but Gallant about 10 feet in front of Aragon did get a piece of it. So it looks like Cole Gallant gets the power play goal with Fairbrother getting an assist. It's now a 3-2 game. Utah wins the draw. Curtis Abbott backhands it in deep. Pastorius delivers a big hit on Zins. As Abbott over towards Neil. Shot saved by Scholl. As Dunn over to the left side. Pivots as he skates to the far corner. Dunn now around the net. As he looks behind Idaho's net. Centers out to Abbott. Shot saved by Scholl. Steelheads come back the other way. Nick Canati gets the center ice. He dumps it in as Canati got a good shoulder check from Pastorius. Dunn in the area behind Utah's net as Barczewski looks over his left shoulder. Idaho wings it along the near side. Trevor Zins chasing after it as Manning couldn't get it at the Utah line. Zins back in front of Scholl. Now he stations himself behind the Idaho goaltender as Idaho spreads the ice 3.5 minutes into the third period. It's the Steelheads 3, Utah 2. Miller up ahead looking for Demon. He couldn't reach it. Taken by Chase Hartjeep. Hartjeep with a long-range pass. It bounced off of Demon onto Aragon. Aragon loses it neutralized. McCollum skates in, drops it for Miller. Miller back to McCollum near goal line. He skates around the net. Hoffman in the area. Battles with Powell. As Idaho spins it to the near side. Kudla couldn't keep it in. As Kudla with the long strides will race back deep in his own zone to get it. Messner chasing after him. Kudla gets it as he skates neutralized with great speed. Kudla flies into the attack zone right wing. Gets around Hartjeep. Kudla gets it backhanded, trying to one-handed out in front of the net. Barczewski poked it away. Manning crosses center, 2-on-4. He stops at the Idaho end and dumps it in as Grizzlies fit in a line change. Idaho with the puck 4 minutes into the third. As Kudla gets to Register on the far side. Register surveys, and he'll move it across the Idaho line to Over. As now McEachern gets hit by Fairbrother deep in the Grizzlies zone. James Shearer will drop it for Wood. Now Wells gets the center ice and dumps it in. Tyson Upper chasing after it. Armstrong delivers a hit on Harsh behind Idaho's net. Grizzlies in the attack zone. As Upper centers to Shearer, it goes off his stick. Upper and Shearer were teammates at the University of Calgary for a year. Idaho gets the left wing. Shot and scores. Roman Rodzinski scores from the left wing to give the Steelheads a 4-2 lead. Boy, Roman Rodzinski just went left side and roofed it over Barczewski's glove. Rodzinski had 3 goals last season, and he tallies the Steelheads' 4th goal of the night. So goals by 4 different Steelheads. They've got a 4-2 lead as Rodzinski had plenty of room on the left side. Shearer was diving in front of him to try to block it, but Rodzinski roofed it over the left glove of Jake Barczewski. So it's the Steelheads 4 and the Grizzlies 2. Both teams have a goal here in the third period. Idaho wins the draw. Kudla dumps it in, but not all the way. Has taken its Kate Jensen near the Grizzlies bench. Now shuffle to his left, gets the center ice, and flies it in. Scholl behind his net will wrap it around to the near side. Wood couldn't get it about waist high. As Crone over to Karan. Karan avoids Jensen's check. Karan centers the bicycle. A shot glove saved by Barczewski. Puck still alive as Dunn ices it. And icing's going to be on the Grizzlies with 14:48 here in the third. It's a fan serenade, Jay Barcheski. Cole Gallant scored on the power play, 2:33 into the third period. And Rudzinski answered not long after. So draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone left circle as the Grizz are skating from left to right here in the third period. Idaho from right to left. Utah wins the draw. Dunn lifting out to center ice. Briley Wood chasing after it. Wood's got good speed, the 21-year-old. As Register closes the gap in the near corner, Wood will throw it around Idaho's net. Hank Crone gathers the puck. Crone to Register behind Idaho's net. Register, right wing pass connects to Crone. Crone to Karan as Karan steps over the offensive line. Back to Crone. Crone over to Karan. He's the far goal line. Feeds it out in front. It glanced off of Barcheski's pads. As Demon over to Crone. He's in the left point. Crone dangles, skates towards the circle. Moves it across to Zins. Zins on the right side surveys. He'll throw it tape to Bice. Back to Zins. One-timer is blocked away by the right ankle of Barcheski. As Briley Wood fanned on trying to clear it out. Now I'll push it to Max Neal at neutral ice. Neal across to Dunn. It glanced off of his stick towards the Idaho line. Zins pushes ahead to Crone. Crone over the line as we get a whistle as Max Neal is kind of in a wrestling match over with Thomas Karan near the Grizzlies bench. Neal lost his helmet. Wood holds Karan's jersey as the whistle blows with 13:56 left in the third. It's the Steelheads 4 and the Grizzlies 2. Timeout on the ice will take one as well. This is the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.
Since 1939, America First has helped people start businesses, buy homes and cars, and achieve their financial goals. Today, our top priority is still the financial success of you and your family, which is why we're giving new members $100 when they sign up for a basic savings and checking account, and another $100 when they upgrade to premium checking and enroll in and use direct deposit. So head to AmericaFirst.com today and join the credit union that always puts its members first.
Why is Jerry Seiner the #1 Kia store in the Salt Lake region? Selection. We've got over 350 new Kias to choose from. Savings. Shop over 40 new Kia Sportage models and save up to $2,500 off when you buy. Jerry Seiner has been the area's most trusted automotive source for over 40 years. Little wonder then how we've made thousands of friends to last a lifetime. Jerry Seiner Kia, South Jordan.
We're skating 4-on-4 with 13:50 left in the third period as Max Neal and Thomas Karan, both guys wearing number 11, each got matching roughing minors. Fairbrother crosses center ice left wing. He'll dump it in as he gets around Demon. Fairbrother's got good speed. He gets a good shoulder check on Zins, but Fairbrother's the one that went down. Idaho 2-on-2 crosses center ice. Crone over the line as he dangles towards the far side. Fairbrother and Zins fighting the Idaho zone. Now both guys cease and desist as Crone in the attack zone gets match checked by Fairbrother. As Manning's stick goes flying into the Grizzlies' net. Interference is the call. Who's it on? Looks like it's going to be on Stanislav Demon. As Manning's stick went flying, it actually went into the Grizzlies' net. Interference is the call, and Demon will go to the box, and the Grizzlies will get a 4-on-3 power play with 13:23 left in the third. What a wild sequence. Back deep in the Steelhead zone, Fairbrother and Zins were jostling back and forth. Ryan Kanasowicz talking things over with Christian Horn. Looks like Idaho, their coaches are talking things over. Keenan Kelly, the assistant coach, talking with John Lindner, the referee. Grizzlies are using the conversation to drop a play as Ryan Kanasowicz is talking with his four-man unit as we're going to skate 4-on-3. Neil Shea, Cole Gallant looking intently as Coach Kanasowicz in his fourth season. He knows a thing or two about scoring goals. Ryan Kanasowicz is the all-time leader in goals, assists, and points in Grizzlies history. Looks like the four on the ice for the Grizzlies will be Shea, Gallant, Briley Wood, and Gianni Fairbrother. For the Steelheads, they're protecting a 2-goal lead. It's going to be A.J. White along with Matt Register and Patrick Kudla. That's about the three best players the Steelheads have on their roster, not named Hank Crone. 4-on-3 for a minute 27. Idaho wins the draw. Kudla near his bench, near side, gets across center ice. He got good speed. He's 1-on-2. Kudla splits the double team back in. Shot saved by Barcheski And he holds on as the whistle blew as Kudla just skated along the left side, split the double team, and fired a crafty backhand shot that Barcheski had to make a good save on. Boy, Patrick Kudla right there demonstrating as he got the puck under the stick of Gallant. And right there just it demonstrates why Patrick Kudla was the league's best defenseman last year. Same guys in the ice for both clubs. As Utah wins the draw this time, they are deep in their own zone, skating from left to right. 13 minutes left in the third period. Idaho leads 4-2. Fairbrother right wings to Gallant. Across to Shea on the left side. Shea gets around wide as he steps over the offensive line. He'll get it to Wood. Back to Fairbrother in the high slot. Fairbrother glides towards his left. He feeds it to Shea on the right side. Shea switches places with Fairbrother, who gets it to Wood. Wood on the left side just outside the circle. Now Wood and Gallant switch places. Wood over to Fairbrother, right circle. He gets it to Shea. Shea on the right side over to Fairbrother. There's Fairbrother, toe drag in the right circle. Keeps the puck before bobbling it for a second. Now Fairbrother in the high slot. Gets it to Shea. Shea on the right wing over to Gallant. Right side, Gallant will skate to the near goal line. Fires it out to Fairbrother. Couldn't accept it. Idaho gets the puck, and Kudla will sail it all the way towards Barcheski. 23 seconds left in the 4-on-3. Grizzlies will reshuffle the deck. At least two of the players. Go on over to Messner, dumps an A. It's preseason for everybody. Idaho gathers the puck, spins it to the near side. Dunn keeps it in the right point. Dunn glides towards the high slot. Now he feeds it to his right for Shea. Shea directs it to Messner on the right side. Messner caught a hot pass. 3 seconds left in the 4-on-3. Shea, left side shot is blocked by Reese Harsh. Idaho gets it. Now we're skating 5-on-4 for 30 seconds. As Bice over towards Miller. He gets it poked away by Dunn. Grizzlies still on the power play for 23 seconds. It's a 5-on-4 one, though. As Dunn over to Armstrong, who dumps it in. No icing as Armstrong delivers a good shoulder check on Harsh in the near corner. Deep in the Steelhead zone as Thomas Scholl looks over his left shoulder. As the Steelheads advance it, and Miller will skip it out. Dunn back at the Utah line, gets the puck. Long-range pass, the left connects for Messner. Left point, lefty shot, glove saved by Scholl. Steelheads are back at full strength. As Idaho pitches across the register, the future Hall of Famer. Left wings a pass out to Walker. C.J. Walker over the line as he skates towards the high slot. Righty wrist shot, glove saved by Barcheski about ankle high. He holds on with 11:09 left in the third. So the Steelheads successful there on that 4-on-3 power play. And then once it got to a 5-on-4 power play, Grizzlies really didn't have any good chances there either. Idaho up to 34 shots. Grizzlies have taken 27, so the Utah does have a slight edge here in the third period. Svetlikov will take the draw against Tyson Upper. Upper wins the draw. His name is my name too. Cade Jensen over to Chase Hartgee. Deep in the Grizzly zone, pass heads picked off by Trevor Zins. It glances towards Upper, who backhands it out to the left side as Wells overskates the puck. Pastorius will bounce it off a register. It goes to Hartgee at the Utah line. Across to Jensen, who surveys. He'll tattoo it off the near boards to Upper. Try to get it to Wells. Zins anticipated it and took it away. Nick Canati at new tries. Up ahead to Svetlikov. Pass behind him. Barcheski plays it just to the side of his net. He'll roll it along the boards to the near side for Wells. Wells to new tries over to Upper. Tried to one-handed ahead. Miller poked it away. It goes to Jensen at the Utah line. Across to Hartgee. He crosses center ice left wing and whips it around the boards. Scholl plays behind his net. Register will tattoo it off the near glass. Pastorius keeps it in. Shot is blocked away by Register's long stick. It has to be the longest stick in the league. As Zins over to Register. Register's got an A on his sweater. He'll chip it off the near glass. It goes past Register as the puck hippity hops towards Barcheski. As Fairbrother will hustle after it. Long-range home run pass out to Messner. Messner at the Idaho line will dump it in. Scholl will play it before it gets to the end boards. As Idaho spins it off of Hoffman. As the Steelheads poke it away from Manning as they loft it out to center ice. Steelheads in the attack zone. They center it, picked off by Fairbrother. Fairbrother back to the Utah line as Hoffman in the area. As Fairbrother gets pushed towards the near corner deep in the Grizzly zone by Hoffman. As Radzinski has got a third period goal. He's in the left side, skates around Utah's net. Radzinski dances around. He's being shadowed by Manning. Now Radzinski towards the near side as he'll skate towards the point. Radzinski backhands it across. Right side, one-timer saved by Barcheski, and he holds on as the shot was taken by Connor McEachern on a one-timer from the right side. Barcheski did leave some change out in front of the crease. Grizzlies did a good job boxing out Idaho, and Barcheski was able to hold on. 9:21 left in the third period. It's the Steelheads 4 and the Grizzlies 2. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Smith's always gives you more ways to save on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Smith's app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. With a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Discover more ways to save big every day. Smith's, fresh for everyone.
Idaho leads 4-2 with 9:21 left in the third period. With this being an exhibition game, it appears we're going to have a 5-minute overtime regardless of what the final score past regulation says. And it sounds like we're going to have a shootout as well. That's going to be after the third period here tonight. Utah's looking for a comeback bid here halfway through the third period. We're going to skate 5-on-5 with 9:21 left in the third. Jake Barczewski has stopped 31 of 35. Idaho's Thomas Scholl has saved 25 of 27. Draws in the left circle of the Grizzlies zone. Mark Olver will take the draw and wins it for Idaho. Reese Harsh rolls it along the boards. Olver, his father was a former head coach of the Steelheads back in 2004 when they won the Kelly Cup as Utah comes up with it. Gallant across the center ice, now backhanded as it gets air under it towards the near corner as Wood gets held up by Harsh. As Kabori Dunn gets double-teamed over in the corner. Dunn strong with the puck, but Harsh took it away as A.J. White will saucer it. Dunn will bat it, keep it in as Dunn gets pushed in the back by McEachern. Idaho comes up with it left wing. White over the line. Left side, lefty shot goes wide. He didn't get much on it. Over and neutral ice gathers the puck for Idaho. As he skates across the center ice logo, he'll push it to his right for Hank Crone. He drops it for Zins. Zins on the right side over to Crone, far goal line. Sharp angled shot saved by Barczewski. Rebound goes to Jensen. Kay Jensen pivots, gets it towards Dunn, who throws it to Gallant. A glance up at his skate. Now Gallant gets it back. He gets around Caron. Gallant over the line, trying to get it to Abbott. It's kicked away by Zins. Taking the puck is Thomas Caron. Caron gets around Pastorius, who poked it away. Puck goes to center ice. Hank Crone at the Idaho line. Across to Demon as Demon will survey. Now he pushes to Caron. Caron gathers the hot pass. Caron directs it to Zins. He's still in the Idaho zone. Steelheads very methodical with their approach with the 2-goal lead. Over to Demon, who skates down the middle. He steps over the line, surrounded by 4 Grizzlies. Demon now around Utah's net, centers it out to Caron. Take a shot, saved by Barczewski. Abbott clears it out to center. Register will gallop after it and get it in the Steelhead zone far side. Grizzlies fit in a line change. 7:40 left in the third. Steelhead still lead 4-2. Pass to center ice intended for nobody. Hartshee over to Armstrong. Back to Hartshee, who couldn't get it on the give and go as Pastorius trying to get it up top. Idaho picks it off. They'll bounce it off the stanchion. Powell a hand pass. Try to ban it towards Neal. The whistle blows. 7:27 left in the third. Steelhead still lead 4-2. The home opener for the Grizzlies will be on Friday, November 1st. They take on the Allen Americans in the first of a 2-game weekend series. Gear tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com and be part of the tradition of Utah Grizzlies hockey as they celebrate their 30th season in the Salt Lake Valley. Draw one by Idaho, as well as had a glance off his stick. Register around the net. Cudlip flies it out to center ice. It's gathered by Shearer over to Wells, who dumps it in. As Wells got blasted towards the Idaho line as the puck ends up out of play with 7:11 left. Draw's going to be at Newton. Actually, the draw's going to be in the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies in a black jersey with white numbers and professional green trim. Pretty much an identical look as to what they had last year. That popular alternate jersey with the capital green G, the cream-colored jerseys, will be back once again for the upcoming season. Draw one by Idaho as they're deep in their own zone, skating from right to left. Patrick Cudlip with great speed gets around Tyson Upper. Cudlip right side will saucer it in as Barczewski lets Shearer play it. Shearer wearing number 74. Last year that was Keone Teixeira wearing that number. As Svetlikov tries to feed it out in front, it kicks off of Barczewski. Coming up with its Armstrong. He gets his stick lifted. Blake Wells loses the puck right side. Now Svetlikov, high slot shot is blocked away by Barczewski. Barczewski's played a pretty good game. He's been very active as Idaho's taken 37 shots. Long range pass to the left side. Bounces off the upper stick. And the Steelheads clear it back to center. Messner at the Utah line over to Shearer across to Jensen. Jensen, 1-6 defenseman for Ryan Kanasowicz's crew tonight. Moves it across to Shearer. Long-range pass to Idaho territory. Gets towards upper. Now Messner will fly it in as the puck bounces about 10 feet in front of Scholl. Taking it is Jade Miller. Miller has one of the 4 Idaho goals tonight. As he'll get towards Kudla. Time is on Idaho's side. Crowd very quiet here at Idaho Central Arena. Not a sellout, but pretty close to it. Steelheads throw it to the left side off the near boards. Miller chases after it deep in the Grizzly zone. He gets there before done. As McCollum across to Harsh, who couldn't reach it. It tattoos off the far boards. Idaho resets at center ice as Harsh gets taken off the puck by Aragon. Good defensive play by Aragon, who's been outstanding both ways tonight. Done to Aragon at center ice. It flies over the head of Scholl off the end boards. Grizzlies fit on a line change. 5:40 and counting as Idaho's got the 2-goal lead. Rodzinski to White. Pass goes tape to tape over towards McEachern. McEachern, the former Wichita Thunder skater, over to Rodzinski, who's got a goal in the third period. He gets pounded to the boards by Kyle Powell. Manning battles with White as White loses the puck. As Neil Shea will tap it off a skate. As Rodzinski over to the left side. He'll fire a shot that goes wide and high off the protective netting as Rodzinski fired away from about where he scored the third period goal. 5:18 left in the third period. It's Idaho 4 and Utah 2. It's the first of 2 preseason games. Remember, Sunday afternoon, we will be at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Schwab tires. I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, breathe in. Now watch your speed and breathe out. Good. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Help keep drivers and backseat drivers safe with Les Schwab tires.
5 minutes, 18 seconds left in the third period. Idaho leads Utah 4-2. After regulation, they will have a 5-minute overtime regardless of what the final score through regulation will entail. We will also have a shootout, I believe. That's after regulation. Idaho wins the draw. They're in the attack zone. McEachern skates along the near goal line now around Utah's net. Centering pass, shot saved by Barcheski. Rebound shot saved by Barcheski again. White had the first look, and Mark Olver had the second. Still heads to the far side as we continue play. McEachern being held on like a cheap suit by Kyle Powell. Puck behind Utah's net. A.J. White shuffles to the corner. White over to McEachern. He's at the near goal line. McEachern being shadowed by Cole Gallant. McEachern feeds out in front. Shot saved by Barcheski. Now Older. Over. Wraparound shot is blocked away by Gallant. And the puck kept the umps out to center ice. The Grizzlies were able to clear it out. Mark Olver will throw it deep into the Steelhead zone as Trevor Zins hangs out as both teams will reshuffle the deck personnel-wise. 4.5 minutes left in the third. Zins ahead to Demon, tape to tape. He'll dump it in. Puck rolls along the boards towards the near side. Pastorius gets cut off by Bice as Pastorius gets it. Pastorius sporting a mustache across towards Abbott off the boards. Abbott backhands it towards Max Neal. Neal pokes it to the far corner as he gets it shuffled away by Thomas Caron. The Steelheads get it out to center ice. Fairbrother gathers it. He backpedals into his own zone. Fairbrother saucers towards Neal, who got held up by Register, so Neal couldn't get the pass. Stan Demon across as pass goes tape to tape to Cron. Idaho's been crisp with their passes. Cron, backhand shot is staved away by Barcheski. Now Crone gets it back across to Kudla left side. Kudla gets around Pastoria. Shot saved by Barcheski. Second look, Kudla shot, and it's blocked away by Barcheski. Now Bice left side shot is blocked away as there's about 3 Grizzlies out in front of the crease. Steelheads behind their net. 3.5 minutes left in regulation. Kicking out in front. Shot to score. Crone to Caron to the back of the net as this baby's in the refrigerator as the Steelheads have taken a 5-2 lead. That is the third main assist for Hank Crone, who's been a magician tonight. And that's Thomas Caron's second goal, assisted by Crone. The Grizzlies had 3 bodies out in front, but Crone was able to get it out in front of the net to Caron, who just kind of shoveled it towards the back of the net. So it's 5-2 Steelheads with 3:28 left in the third. And a tough thing for the Grizzlies is defensively, they did just about everything you wanted to do. Crone just made the perfect pass at the perfect time. Idaho wins the draw register, gets it to center ice for Walker, now to Svetlikov. As Svetlikov tried to get it out in front to Kanadi, pass goes wide. As Kudla, left side, fires it to the right corner as the puck skips off the ice and off the wall. As Nick Kanadi playing as a forward tonight, normally a defenseman, just dance around the high slot. He'll move it towards Register in the right side. Register will skate along the blue line and wrap it around the boards. Behind the net, Svetlikov gets it. He wears number 36, first-year pro. He gets hit in the near corner by Upper. Kay Jensen behind the net towards the far side. He'll lift it out to neutral ice. It's dropped by Kudla. Puck goes to the Idaho line. Register backhands it ahead as it skips towards Kay Jensen in the Grizzlies zone. Idaho makes a line change, 2:40 and counting left in the third. Up ahead, puck bounced off a Tyson Upper stick. Grizzlies will change things up. Aaron Aragon out there with Manning and Messner as the Steelheads back at their line. Trevor Zenz head to McCollum. Right wing, he crosses center ice. McCollum has it glanced away by Hartjeep, and the puck goes to Messner. McMessner back down the middle. Left wing pass to Aragon at center ice. Aragon crosses the red line, and Hill lifted in. Aragon chasing after it with good speed as he hits Demon as puck goes to Kanadi over to Jade Miller back towards Hoffman as Hoffman gets it glanced away by Hartjeep. Kyle Powell skates around his net. 2 minutes left in regulation. We'll have an overtime session regardless of what the final score entails. Grizzlies ahead to Manning. Manning tried to get around Trevor Zenz. Manning lost his balance. Zenz moves it out to center ice where it's fumbled by McCollum as Wood lofts it on to Scholl, who kicks it away to the far corner. 1:40 and counting left in the third as Idaho leads 5-2. As Barcheski comes off the ice for an extra attacker. As Grizzlies' net is empty. As Gallant over in the right point, he's in the attack zone. This will get it to Neil Shea. Shea behind the net. It's cut off by Zenz. As losing his balance was Max Neal. Neal will one-hand it to the near corner. Grizzlies get it up top to Fairbrother. He'll skate towards his left. He's in the high slot over to Shea, right wing. Shea's shot is blocked away by Demon. Demon's played a pretty good game for Idaho as Max Neal along the near goal line. Demon pushes him as Neal will drop it for Neil Shea as Shea goes down as he got hit by Hoffman. 1 minute left in the third period. Upper centering pass shot saved by Scholl as Neal had a good look. Idaho ices the puck. Icing is going to be called with 50.8 seconds left in the third. Well, a good pass out in front to Max Neal, and Thomas Scholl once again made the stop. Idaho up to 42 shots. Grizzlies have taken 27. Grizzlies' net is empty. 50 seconds left in regulation. Looks like Ryan Kanasowicz is going to drop a play. It is a preseason game, and it is a 3-goal contest. I think if you're the Grizzlies, you maybe want to simulate this as if it's a 1-goal game. You know, try to work on some things, especially a situation like this where Coach Kanasowicz is drawing up a play. And even though, you know, it's not going to really do much in terms of the outcome of it, you know, who's going to win the game, but obviously you want to work on these type of situations, and that's part of what the preseason is all about. Grizzlies kind of working on some situational stuff here, and even though it is a 3-goal game, kind of simulated as if it's a 1-goal contest. Grizzlies have had their chances. You know, Thomas Scholl's been outstanding in net. Grizzlies will have Neil Shea out there with Max Neal, Cole Gallant, Briley Wood. That's the 4 forwards. James Shearer and Johnny Fairbrother have played a ton of minutes. That's the 2 defensemen out there for the Grizzlies. Idaho's going to have McEachern, McCollum, Hoffman. That's the 3 forwards. Demon and Trevor Zenz are the 2 defensemen. 50.8 seconds left in the third. Idaho does lead 5-2. Gallant will take the draw, and he wins it. Fairbrother over on the right point dances around. He dangles the puck, gets towards Briley Wood. One-timer saved by Scholl. Neal kicks it out in front, and Zenz picks it off. As Zenz gets spun around, a penalty is going to be called on Max Neal as Trevor Zenz got cycled around near Idaho's net. Zenz on 2 knees. He'll get back to his feet slowly. A stick breaks as he was trying to get back to his feet. Max Neal looks up to the video board as he's going to get a penalty. Barczewski's going to return to the game. Means going to be the call. Max Neal will get a penalty. He'll go to the box. 38.5 seconds left. Barczewski is in there right now as the draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. So it is going to be an Idaho victory. We will have an overtime session after it, but Idaho will get credited with the victory regardless. Grizzlies have had a tough time in the preseason over the last 7 or 8 years against Idaho. They've only won 2 preseason games since the start of the 2018-2019 season. PA announcer says, let's get a little noisy at Boise as Idaho wins the draw. Canady over to Cudley's on the left side. Cudla back towards Canady, trying to get it back to Cudla. Puck gets some air under it. It skips towards Cudla. He's on the left side. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Barczewski. Cudla gets the rebound. 20 seconds left. He'll feed it up top to Rodzinski. Rodzinski backhands it towards Cudley. He's in the left circle. He'll get to the near goal line. Now back to Canady. He'll take a shot. He scores. Nick Canady gets Idaho's 6th goal. It's the second power play goal for the Steelheads. Canady last year in 62 games had 6 goals and 12 assists. It's a power play goal for the Steelheads as Neal goes back to the bench. It's the Steelheads 6 and the Grizzlies 2. .4 seconds left in regulation. Cudla and C.J. Walker will get the assist. Walker is at the near goal line and was the one that got it across to Canady. So C.J. Walker is going to get the main assist. As Idaho wins the draw, 8 seconds left. They'll just watch time run away here in regulation. It's going to be the Steelheads 6 and the Grizzlies 2. As regulation ends, we will have some more hockey here on the Idaho Central ice. As time runs out here in regulation, it's the Steelheads 6 and the Grizzlies 2. Nick Canady having some words with Tyson Upper at the end of regulation. Seems like the overtime session is just going to be for the enjoyment of the audience here at Idaho Central Arena. Grizzlies did score first tonight. Aaron Aragon, 7:30 into the first period. Got a goal with Messner and Manning getting the assist. Ty Pelton-Bice got a centering pass from Hank Crone on a power play, 9-10 into the first period. And Bice got the goal with Crone and Caron getting the assist. And then Idaho took a 2-1 lead as Thomas Caron got a centering pass from Crone, 12:37 in. Crone and Harsh with the assist. Idaho led 2-1 after one period, with the Steelheads out shooting the Grizzlies 14-10. In the second period, Jade Miller scored the game's only goal, 6:25 in, with Lyndon McCollum getting the assist. Idaho led 3-1 after 2 periods. The Steelheads outshot the Grizzlies 15-11 in the second period. In the third period, Idaho outshot Utah 14-7. Grizzlies' Cole Gallant did get a power play goal, 2:33 in. Fairbrother and Shea with the assist. Rodzinski scored 4:47 into the third, with McEachern getting the assist. Thomas Caron got a centering pass from Cronin, scored 16:32 in, and then 19:47 in. Nick Canady added a power play goal. Idaho had 2 power play goals. They start overtime, I guess just for entertainment purposes only. Register over to the left side. He skates down the middle. Register still with the puck. As some of the fans are heading for the exits, probably not understanding why a 6-2 game requires extra hockey. 2-on-1. Grizzlies into the attack zone. Manning across to Briley Wood. Wood skates in. Righty shot. Saved by Scholl as Wood gets it towards Manning. Grizzlies still in the attack zone, skating from right to left. James Shearer gets it in the left point. Across to Manning. Manning dances around as he pivots. Stops around Crone. Now Manning will skate towards the far goal line. They'll backhand it out to no one in particular as the pass went wide to Shearer. Cole Gallant runs it down in Grizzlies territory. Gallant will skate around Utah's net. 4 minutes left in the entertainment portion of the program. Neil Shea skates around the net. Shot hits the side of the net. As coming up with it is McEachern, who hustles after it on the far side. McEachern, he's at neutral ice. Now he skates towards his right. McEachern, a good skater across the center ice. He spent some time in the AHL with San Jose last year. Drops it for Caron, who skates down the middle over to the right side for Cudla. Cudla dances around. Now he'll feather it across the left side as Thomas Caron dangles with the puck in the left point. They'll drop it for McEachern as the puck exits the zone. Idaho resets. McEachern over towards Caron. 3.5 minutes left in the Just for Fun session here of overtime. As up ahead to center ice, pass to Cutlass behind him. It goes to Fairbrother. At new tries, Fairbrother gets around a skater. Now take a shot and hits the post. As Fairbrother skated down the middle. Now 2-on-1 for the Steelheads. Fairbrother back defensively to make it 2-on-2. McEachern with a shot kick saved by Barcheski. Rebound goes to the near side. Messner flies along the left wing. As now it's a 2-on-1. Over towards Armstrong. Back to Messner. Over to Armstrong. Shot goes wide as he didn't get much on it. Patrick Cudlow, less than 3 minutes left here. As it's overtime, Idaho does get the 6-2 victory. This is really just for fun. Most of the crowd is actually left for the exits. Not entirely sure why we're getting extra hockey. We already had 60 minutes. We get a whistle, and it looks like Idaho is going to get called for too many on the ice. So it's going to be a penalty on the Steelheads. Not sure who's going to the box for Idaho, and at this point, do we really care? You do this for the audience, preseason game, have some fun. I swear there's at least half the people that have decided to head home. Idaho does win 6-2. It's kind of like when they had the shootout last Saturday. I remember they had the shootout there at the end of the preseason game when Utah defeated the Colorado Avalanche 2-1. Everybody's looking around and going to press row to say hi to the broadcasters, and they're like, what was the shootout for? It didn't, it's kind of like the points on the game. Whose line is it anyway? The show where everything's made up and the points don't matter. That's kind of what we got on the ice right here. 5 minutes. Now we're just going to play hockey, have some fun, and the points really don't matter. Idaho will throw it all the way deep into the Grizzlies zone. Barcheski will pitch it towards Fairbrother. As the Grizzlies in their own zone, we're skating 4-on-3 as Idaho got caught with too many on the ice. Gallant into the attack zone, skates towards the far goal line. He's got great speed. Gallant still with the puck. He's now on the left side. And so feed it up top to Fairbrother on a soft pass. Fairbrother dangles, gets it to Gallant on the right side. Gallant over to Fairbrother. If Utah scores, we're going to pretend it's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals here. As the Grizzlies, Neil Shea over to the right side. As he'll skate towards the high slot over to Fairbrother. One-timer, glove saved by Scholl. Rebound goes to the far side. Brodzinski hustles after it. And he fires it off of Fairbrother's stick and it goes to the Utah line. Fairbrother over to Gallant as Idaho fits in a line change. As Shea sauces it to Fairbrother, left side. He fakes a shot. Fairbrother now at the near side. He'll get it behind the net to Wood. Briley Wood sauces it to Fairbrother. It bounced over his stick. Fairbrother gathers it. He'll skate towards the left point and get it to Gallant. 1.5 minutes left in the whose line is it anyway portion of the program. Fairbrother, lefty shot goes wide. And taking it's Miller off the boards. Miller will just clear it out as Idaho shorthanded. 40 seconds left in the power play. As the Grizzlies will drop it off for James Shearer. We're having some fun here on a Saturday night. It was a 6-2 Idaho victory as Luke Manning gets to new tries. Manning over the line, drops it for Aragon, who played a good game. Over to Shearer, back to Messner. 1 minute left in overtime, if you will. Messner over to Manning. He's in the high slot. Manning dangles, gets to Shearer. One-timer, he scores! Shearer just overpowered it past Scholl. And so the Grizzlies won the overtime portion. Final score was 6-2. There was very little, if any, celebration by the Grizzlies. What a shot by James Shearer. He's kind of overpowered it past Thomas Scholl. Shearer had 6 goals for the Grizzlies a couple years ago, and he's going to be a key threat. The positives for the Grizzlies, obviously the game's not going to count in the standings either way. You have to love the way the forward line of Aaron Aragon, Luke Manning, and Mick Messner looked. Those three displayed outstanding speed, looked like they had good chemistry with each other. If you're talking about a most improved player from one year to the next, it's hard to really tell between the three because Aragon, Messner, and Manning, all of them look like they're going to be outstanding this season. All three look like they really raised their game during the offseason and worked hard. So despite the 6-2 Idaho victory, I guess the scoreboard right now has it 6-3. A lot of positives for the Grizzlies tonight. And don't forget, tomorrow's going to be another preseason game. It's going to be played at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls. Well, now I'll wrap things up here for the preseason opener. Don't forget the Grizzlies open up the regular season 6 days from now here at Idaho Central Arena. The Grizzlies will be on the road for the first 3 games of the regular season as Utah will be at Rapid City for a 2-game set on October 25th and 26th. Face-off for both games will be at 7:05, and the Grizzlies home opener will be on Friday, November 1st. You're going to want to get your tickets to experience the tradition of Utah Grizzlies hockey as they begin their 30th season of professional hockey in the Salt Lake Valley. That's going to be November 1st and 2nd, Friday and Saturday night against the Allen Americans. Get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon, 2:50 pregame show, 3:10 face-off over at Mountain America Center in Idaho Falls, Idaho. I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is. You've been listening to the Utah Grizzlies Audio Network.